Today we continue with our class Kosher Kitchen, and we start with Sefer Chofetz Chaim. And big topic is the same. Oh, no, not the same. I apologize. New one. We have been on the same topic for a long time. So now Avak Rechilus. So Avak, to remind us, it means dust. Dust meaning that it's not exactly that, but some like very similar. So what does it mean? One who does not exercise proper caution in a matter of speech may find himself inadvertently fanning the flames of hatred. It is forbidden to mention an incident or another piece of information that might remind the listener of the situation where he was wronged by someone. To relate such information is to speak avak, literally the dust of Rechilus. The speaker transgresses even though he has no intent to cause the listener to recall the wrongdoings. The sages told that the speaker is responsible for not having exercised proper caution in mentioning that which might reawaken ill feelings. Okay, so let's do it again, and we try to understand what it says here. So it's again, one who does not exercise proper caution in a matter of speech may find himself inadvertently fanning the flames of hatred, meaning that the person mentions something about somebody else and he did not mean to, and it was not intended. I like this person very much, but it happened to be, but they reopen the old wound. It is forbidden to mention an incident or other piece of information which might remind the listener of situation where he was wronged by someone. So he would say, "Oh, it's such a good thing that this guy is no longer in our shul. He moved to another place." You understand? So you're trying to cheer somebody up, and that person, and now he's going to remember, "Oh yeah, this guy, we suffer from him so much," and he started going and going. So that's or just even if he does not reply or just does a small remark, but in his mind it's reawoken the hatred to that person who did something wrong to him, right? So absolutely not. Okay, just 1 second. It is forbidden to mention an incident one time or other piece of information which might remind the listener of situation where he was wronged by someone. Okay, even though it was a long time ago and you want to see as a joke or as happy we are that this person no longer in our community, he moved somewhere else, that's bad. To relate such information, speak avak loshen hara, literally dust. Avak Rechilus. Rechilus, right? It's not loshen hara, it's Rechilus. So Rechilus again, it's what is Rechilus? It's when one person speaks about another, right? And it reawakens the hatred or creates hatred between them. Okay. Continue. The speaker transgresses even though he has no intent causing the listener to recall the wrongdoings. So I mean, he wanted he transgressed even if he meant as a compliment, even he want to say as a joke, it's a good relief. That doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. The sages hold that the speaker is responsible for not having exercised proper caution in mentioning that which might reawaken ill feelings. Right. So the fault of the speaker that he did not exercise proper caution. So meaning what? If it would be very important to him, he would not do that. If he would know that and he would remember always that how HaShem hates it, he would never do that. Right? Okay. So we stop here. Any questions on what we said?
Rabbi?
Yes. Question.
The word that says Shom Kedalav, I wonder what is the punishment for Avak Rechilus?
It's not. It's not exactly. I don't think there is a punishment, but the punishment for the sin, in the worst punishment for the sin that is going to bring another sin. That's the issue. Understand? So it starts from little one. So nobody started to be like in a child as a pedophile, right? It was one thing that led to another. It's not in vacuum. Something led, right? One sin, then smaller, then bigger. So first he killed a cat or something, or a bird, and then he wanted to try on humans, chas v'shalom, right? Or rape somebody. That's how it works. So as a punishment, he's going to come to do the full-fledged, to speak full-fledged Lashon Hara. That's and then he would be actually like would deserve punishment, real punishment. Okay. What else? Any other questions? Okay. So we're going to start with a little review of the table. Wish you all have this book, but and then take picture. But let's start. So our topic, the big topic, is a prohibition of akum, pas akum, bread baked by a non-Jew. And we said there is a big difference. We differentiate between a homeowner, meaning your neighbor, somebody, right, that bakes specially for you. So then, because you can get into the special, these close relationships, and there is this Pas Palter. Palter, this professional baker. So I mean, he wants to sell bread. He's not. But I mean, even though if he has a bakery, they would try to do small conversation and be friendly with everybody else, right? So, for example, I have on my street, right? But further down. So I used to live not too far from there. There is a restaurant and a bakery that been in the business, I don't know, 60 years or more. So all of the businesses around, not all, but many, they close, open, this and that, but that one stays very strong, right? And what it's not kosher, it's Italian, right? So what I heard from the neighbors when I used to live there, so I explained them that I don't go to this place, but they say that because of the friendliness, so they very, very friendly staff, family works there, so okay, so they're in the business for such a long time. Right, so can you intermarry in such a place? Yeah, that's for sure, but I think we can. But it's like a percentage, the chances are much smaller, and that's what we explained last time. Okay, so now we're going to go into the table, and we're going to review several situations. So basically, the last topic that we discussed is how far you have to travel, right, to get a Pas Palter, right? And we said there are different situations. So let's see. Okay. Pas Israel. In order to get Pas Israel, meaning the bread baked by Jew. I apologize. Okay. Okay. So we start with Sephardi custom. And the first scenario, so Pas Israel available with 0.72 miles, so 1 mil, right? So if in kilometers, it's approximately one kilometer. Okay, no problem. So if it's available, so meaning what? Just to remind a little, right? That you are stationary, meaning it's available from your house, or available from like around the surroundings of your job or somewhere, or whatever you wanna. But if you're traveling, so we say a person must travel, I think, up to 8 meals, right? 8 meals. Remember, 4 meals. I'm sorry, 4 meals. It's 8,000 cubits. That's how I remember. Okay, so 4 meals if it's you're in going your direction, right? Or if it's out of the way, so it's actually 2 meals, right? 1 meal. This like if it's to the left, to the right, or to the back, so 1 meal. But if you're on the road, so continue going there, and you're going to get to Pas Israel. Okay, but if we're stationary, we're not going to travel anywhere. That's the law. Okay, so for according to Sephardi custom, Pas Israel available in 72 minutes. It's 18 minutes approximately. We said 18 minutes walk. It's 4.7 mile. miles, and it says Pas Palter prohibited. So for Sephardi, who has this another bakery, right, or another thing that is in 18 minutes walk, let's say, so he is not allowed to eat Pas Palter, right? Meaning that the bread baked by the commercial bakery, non-Jew, but it kosher certified. So today we must have kosher certified. In olden days, as we said, it was like simple recipe. It was flour, water, and that's it. If they would want like something, like if you would suspect that they would add the pork fat or something, so then of course it's not allowed to buy. But I think it was an exception. There was no need for that whatsoever. So if you buy from if you buy from like simple bakery, no problem. Okay. So Ashkenazi, right? Pas Israel, not okay. No. Okay. So again, Sephardi custom, Pas Israel available 0.17 mile, right? 1 kilometer. So Pas Israel is for prohibited for Sephardi. Ashkenazi custom, little more complicated. So it says Pas if it's a little more lenient. So it says as follows: Pas Palter tasted better, significantly less expensive. Right? Pas Palter is permitted. So if you, wherever you are, and you can walk to the kosher store and get Pas Israel, and it's only 10 minutes walk. Let's simplify things, right? But this Pas Palter, this bread from, I don't know, like Walmart or something, like from local bakery, I don't know. Well, but it's kosher certified. It's not going to be kosher certified from local bakery. I'll take it back. I don't think so. I don't think so. Maybe yes, maybe no. Okay, so let's say from a big supermarket, and it tastes much better and it's kosher certified. So it's significantly less expensive, meaning less expensive. So you're not obligated to go the distance. Okay, because of the taste and because of the money. Okay. Next one. Again, Ashkenazi custom. Both bread equal in quality and price. Oh, right. I mean, plus minus. I mean, as we discussed, the difference in price, meaning like 16% is not considered to be difference in price. Right? Negligible. So more than like 20 to 25%, 30%, sometimes double. Right, then it's difference in price. So if difference in price is insignificant and taste like a quality is not worse than that, so Pas Palter is prohibited. Again, so in this case, Ashkenazi have this a little more lenient, right? Because if it's non-Jewish bread is better, less expensive, so you can eat Pas Palter, meaning that you're not obligated to walk. To get Pas Israel. Pas is bread. Next scenario, Pas Israel not available within 0.7 mile, right? And here, like meaning that you have to drive, I don't know, like 25 minutes, let's say, right? Because as we said last time, according to some poskim, it's not so simple. Because people used to walk, it's 18 minutes. So maybe if you're going to spend this 18 minutes from like driving, maybe it's the same as walking. So it's not one meal. They say 1 meal meaning because, but they get 1 meal in the Talmudic time from the time span. So okay, so maybe here if it's not too far, so he can drive. Okay, right. But if it's not available, within this 0.7 mile, so Pas Palter is permitted, and same for Ashkenazi, it's also permitted. No problem. So okay, it's preferable, but the sages did not want to overburden us. So meaning what? I mean, meaning for the way I see it. So in all other cases, if they say there's Halachah, and we see in this thing that did not overburden us, so meaning that they took everything into consideration. Okay, so if it could have been lenient, so they did leniently, rule leniently. Okay. Before we continue, Any questions on what we said about this bread? Okay, no problem. So let's continue. Next section. When one may eat Pas Palter. Okay. During Pas Palter. During Aseres Yemei Teshuvah, meaning the 10 days of repentance from Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, even Ashkenazic Jews should not eat only Pas Israel. Right? It's actually it's straightforward from Shulchan Aruch. It's Shulchan Aruch. I think it's taken from Talmud. Right? So it says that on this during these 10 days of Teshuvah, we're trying to do accept something extra upon ourselves. And even if you're not going to keep the rest of the year, so everybody they have this famous question, like try to find the source and learn all of the answers, of course, like to this question, this famous question: how come are you allowed to accept upon yourself something like only for these 10 days? Like an example that if a person eats the whole year this Pas Palter, right? This bread baked by commercial baker. So it's very, very advisable. These 10 days eat Pas Israel. Okay. Okay. So commentators say Orach Chaim 6031. There is a question regarding eating certain mizoines called cereal during Aseres Yemei Teshuvah. One should consult one's Rav. Okay, I mean, I would say yeah. Most likely, I think we would rule leniently and allow a person to eat this what is it? This cold cereal. Okay. Cold cereals. Okay. Continue. However, if Pas Israel is not available, so even in these 10 days, right, one may eat Pas Palter even during Aseres Yemei Teshuvah. So, on one hand, Talmud says as an example. On another hand, it's not only like a very, very specific example. So, of course, you can accept upon yourself some other things, but proper to accept this as well. For example, if one traveling and Pas Israel is not available within the 4 meal, right? So 4 meal, it's 8,000 amos, right? In a direction that one is traveling, so meaning forward, one may eat Pas Palter. So even in this during this 10 days of repentance from Rosh Hashanah to Yom Kippur. So it's, as we said, always say it's not 10 days. Rosh Hashanah is out, Yom Kippur is out, one Shabbos is out, so it's only a few days left, right? So 6 days. Okay. 20. Commentary. Mishnah Brura, in chapter 1, it would seem that the same applies to one who is not traveling, but has no Pas Israel available within 1 meal. Essentially during Aseres Yemei Teshuvah, Ashkenazic Jew follow the Sephardic stricter tradition. Right, so not to eat Pas Palter. Okay. Continue. This rule apply to cake, cookies, crackers, and pretzels as well, as will be explained in section B. So he says that this rule apply to all, and he gives the list, and this list is actually what we learned in our class Halachos of Brochas. All of these things are considered to be from the bread family, right? So bread family meaning cookies, meaning what? That if we eat enough of these cookies or cakes or crackers or pretzels, right, it's going to be considered to be meal, right? And you would need to say Birchas Hamazon. So pretzels, just before we continue, it's a famous question. I don't know why some people get confused. Like a small pretzel, like dry pretzels, like crackers, it's mizonos for sure. But a big pretzel, like thick, it's not mizonos for sure. Not. It's 100% bread. Right? Usually they're not sweet, and usually they put salt on it or this and that. So for sure it's a bread. You have to wash on this. They call it, I think, soft pretzels. So there's hard pretzels and soft pretzels. Okay. Continue. In the opinion of some poskim, one should refrain from eating Pas Palter on Shabbos as well. What? Magen Avraham 242 form. Although Ilya Rabbah and Tosefes Shabbos disagree, Mishnah Berurah follows the stricter opinion. Very interesting. So if it's possible, that's why we have tradition. If a woman is capable to, so she can bake, right? The Halachos for Shabbos. Sometimes, like if that do not have time, you can buy this frozen dough, and you just have to do like some preparatory test. I think add egg, some other things, all other ingredients are there, and let it stand, and you can bake. That's it. So you save yourself a lot of time, right? So in this case, you would be eating Pas Israel, which is very important. Okay. But of course, as we always say, don't start with your wife because she's busy with kids, she's busy with the family, busy with you, right? Another child. So now she cannot bake. So forget about baking, right? Go buy. That's it. So it's not reason to rebuke a wife. Okay. Continue. Next one. The stricter Ashkenazic caste. Plus, I just want to add somehow, many women who never baked, like they were bake cakes. They say, "I'm going to bake bread," and I don't know, like many they're not sure. So I connect them to my wife, and she sent the recipe, the videos that she used, and most of the women start baking. It's not such a big deal, but some people have this fear or trying, what if it's not going to work? So it's not going to work for a few times. So then it's going to work. Okay. So continue. C. Stricter Ashkenazi custom. Although general Ashkenazi custom is more lenient, Ashkenazic Jew in many sections of Europe adopted the custom to refrain from eating Pas Palter. Aruch HaShulchan 112:17. Aruch HaShulchan, I think it was written in Belarus, if I understand correctly. I think. Right? I think. Right. So in that, so they were careful. So that's why I say I think they also suspect that they would use pork fat, right, for the baking. Okay. In addition, Kabbalistic sources maintain that one should avoid eating Pas Palter. Okay, cited Chaim Vital in the name of Arizal. Okay, see Kav Chaim, my favorite book, chapter 56. But so some people get depressed or something. They say kabbalistically it's not good, and this. So we always try to calm them down, always, because we don't. Halachah does not follow Kabbalah. Halachah follows Halachah. Halachah follows Shulchan Aruch, right? And if it's easy to add some things, right? I don't know. Whatever things, just to make it according to Kabbalah, we do according to Kabbalah. But otherwise, we don't, right? So meaning that in some like countries, places in Europe, they would not eat this Pas Palter. I guess because of not only spiritual reason, but because of the practical Kashrut reason as well. That's the way I understand, right? And according to Kabbalah, so they say avoid eating. Okay. For this reason, many, especially those of Hasidic tradition, do not eat Pas Palter. Okay, so that's, of course, Hasidic. Continue. Any questions before we continue? Just let me see. Okay, so next, I don't know what section, proper custom. One shopping in supermarket is often faced with the choice of buying either non-Jewish brand of bread cookies, crackers, or pretzels, or Jewish bread. Okay. Often the Jewish bread is not as fresh as non-Jewish bread, or is not as tasty. Nevertheless, there is a good reason for even the Ashkenazic Jew to follow the stricter Sephardic tradition. However, one who wishes to may be lenient and eat Pas Palter if it is better tasting and better quality than Pas Yisrael brand, or if there is a substantial difference in price. That is significant with regard to one's budget. Okay. In addition, if the type of the bread that one family likes to eat is not available in a Jewish brand, an Ashkenazic Jew may purchase a non-Jewish brand. Of course, it's kosher. Kosher is not kosher. It's out of the question. Someone living in or traveling through a city in which Pas Yisrael is not available, may certainly eat Pas Palter. So let's read it again, and we're going to explain. There's some things to it. So proper custom, right? So just because something is not prohibited does not mean that we have to follow that path, right? It's very, very important. Okay, one shopping in a supermarket is often faced with a choice buying either non-Jewish brand of bread, cookies, crackers, and pretzels, or Jewish bread. And somehow, and I experienced once, we were in Florida, and I wanted to buy Halachos. It was Friday morning. Like, how can you go wrong with a fresh challah? It was Friday morning. It was not cheap. It was very expensive. Very, very expensive. And of course, I bought them, and they were like very stale. Like from last week. I don't know. Why would they sell stuff like that? So this non-Jewish bread would not allow to do that. So which is a little the way I say disgrace. Like if a person wants to eat kosher and he wants to pay extra, and that's what you serve. So like that's not good. Basically, whatever they did was not good. Right. So often Jewish bread are not as fresh. I'm not sure why it should not be fresh. Than the non-Jewish bread, or not as tasty. That's all. Also, that it was not very tasty, and I still do not understand. Like all of these ingredients, the flour, buy good flour. Like I don't know what if you use good water or something. I don't know what else was other ingredients. But it's not such a hard thing to make it very tasty, much tastier than non-Jewish bread. Of course, we compare part of bread and part of bread. We don't compare non-Jewish bread that have milk in there. We're not comparing that. Of course, it's much tastier with milk or with butter. Okay. Nevertheless, there is a good reason for even Ashkenazic Jew to follow stricter Sephardic tradition, meaning not to eat this Pas Palter. However, one who wishes to may be lenient and eat Pas Palter. So, but okay, it's not recommended. But if you want to, nobody is going to stop you because we have all these opinions. Okay, right? Why? Again, if it's better tasting or better quality, or even price. Okay, substantial price difference. Okay. Okay, so in significance, and he adds with regard to one's budget. So if person is very rich and it's 30 cents more, so like that's don't go crazy, right? So just buy it and that's it. So if a person is very rich, he should not look at the prices, right? I mean, especially the price is not even if it's double, it's not the end of the world. In addition, if the type of the bread that one's family likes is not available in Jewish brand, whatever bread is it, that an Ashkenazic Jew, right, may purchase the non-Jewish brand. Okay, very simple. So again, so we don't. On one hand, we encourage people to eat Jewish bread. On another hand, we cannot force people to do like something that they don't like, and that they feel disgusted and maybe upset with this bakery. Why for $5 they sell me like stale bread, or $6, and it was many years ago. $6, right? Someone living in or traveling through the city in which Pas Israel is not available may certainly eat Pas Palter. So if you have no choice, there is no problem. So you can eat because again, it's a staple food, and you need to eat something. Okay. Number 2, definitions of Pas Palter. Okay. Although Palter is a baker, Pas Palter regarding the Halachos regarding Halachos Pas Akum is defined as a bread that was baked with intention to be sold. Thus, the bread of non-Jewish housewife who bakes bread to sell at the street fair is considered Pas Palter, even though it is not baked by a baker. Conversely, if a non-Jewish baker bakes bread specifically for his family, for example, a special recipe that they enjoy, it is considered regular prohibited Pas Akum, since it was not baked to sell. Accordingly, in these cases, one may eat the housewife's bread, but not the baker's. I'm going to explain my take in it. It's not so simple. It's housewife. The definition of Pas Palter depends upon the actual baking of the bread, not whether it was eventually sold or it was given as a gift. Thus, if non-Jew purchases bread from a baker and gives it as a gift to a Jew, the Jew may eat the bread. Conversely, if non-Jewish housewives bake bread for her own family and decide to sell it instead, Jew may not eat that bread. So let's see, it's continuation. Okay, no. Okay, so let's do this paragraph and we're going to explain. So, definition of Pas Palter bread. Meaning, the definition, we already covered the definition. Now it's like some exceptional cases, unusual cases. So again, although Pas Palter is a baker, Pas Palter regarding the Halachah of Pas Akum is defined as a bread that was baked with intention to be sold. So baker meaning the commercial baker, right? And he bakes bread not because he likes to do it, but because it's his livelihood. Okay. Thus, the bread of non-Jewish housewives who bakes bread to sell at the street fair is considered Pas Palter, even though it was baked not baked by a baker. So this housewife, so I don't know, sometimes maybe whatever street fair is, I heard about, never saw one, but whatever, so there is street fair, whatever, some fair, and she wants to sell bread, so she baked all of the beautiful things, of course, to sell. And it says that you're allowed to buy. The problem, the huge problem that I see right away. So because she would use the stove, the same stove for everything, for milk and dairy, treif and everything. So the stove is not kosher. With this baker, like commercial baker, he's not going to cook anything in that stove, right? The stove is he keeps only for bread, right? So most likely his stove is kosher. Right, most likely, but her stove most likely is not kosher. So I mean, but hypothetically speaking, yes. Let's say she has only separate stove for bread, right? And she usually bakes for herself, for her family. Now she decided that like a special separate stove baked this bread in order to sell. Okay, but otherwise it's not allowed. I mean, it's beside the reason that is Pas Akum. Okay. One second. Conversely, a non-Jewish baker baked bread specifically for his family, right? For example, special recipe they enjoy is considered regular prohibited Pas Akum since he did not bake to sell. So this guy baked for his family, and now family do not want to eat this bread for whatever reason. They have too much, for example, or they decide to go away. to visit somebody's else's family. So he has extra. So even though he's baker and we've been buying from him for a long time, let's say this non-Jewish baker, but this special bread that he baked for his family, like not to sell, but his family, so it's going to be forbidden for us. Okay. Accordingly, in these cases, one may eat the housewife's bread, so hypothetically again, and not eat the bread by the bakers, by the baker. Why? Because he cooked for his family and he decided to sell it to us or give it to us. And this housewife, she actually baked to sell. Okay. The definition of Pas Palter depends upon the actual baking of the bread, meaning the intention, right? For whether it was eventually sold or was given as a gift. Not whether. So initial intention, not whether it was initially sold or given as a gift. Okay. Thus, if non-Jew purchases bread from a baker, right, and gives it as a gift as a Jew, the Jew may eat the bread. So it doesn't matter. I bought the bread. Let's say it's packed, sealed with something, right? So I bought the bread from this baker, or he bought the bread and gave me as a gift. Okay. So I mean it's relevant. So basically. Here, this bread is considered to be as regular gift, right? He gave me like some other gift, or he gave me this. Okay, so okay. I mean, or he gave me bread that he bought. Doesn't matter. So it's gift. Conversely, if a non-Jewish housewife baked bread for her own family and decided to sell it instead, the Jew may not eat the bread. Right, it's forbidden because we go by initial intention that she wanted to keep. Now she decided to sell it to us. Okay. Any questions on what we said? Okay, no problem. I think it would be an issue with this cap to go to the bathroom. Okay, so we're going to a practical summary. Okay. And it says, Sephardic Jew may not eat Pas Palter if Pas Israel is available within 18 minutes walk, approximately half or 3/4 of a mile. Okay. Half of a mile. It's more than half a mile. Okay. Okay, so right. If he is traveling, he may not eat Pas Palter if Pas Israel is available within 72 minutes walk, approximately 2 1/3 or close to 3 miles in the direction he's traveling. So let's do it again. So Sephardic custom again. Sephardic Jew may not eat Pas Palter, meaning this commercial bread, if Pas Israel is available within 18 minutes walk, if he's stationary, right? If he's traveling, he may not eat he may not eat Pas Palter if Pas Israel is available 72 minutes walk. So 72 minutes, it's a long walk. So it's approximately 2 to 3 miles. Okay, no problem. Right, in a direction that he travels. So, and again, left and right or back, it's only one meal, which is like half a mile, more than half a mile. Okay, Ashkenazic Jews may eat Pas Palter even if Pas Israel is available, if the Pas Palter is tastier or significantly less expensive than Pas Israel. Again, the Halachah is that available, it's allowed, but somebody who wants to go stricter opinion, that would be commendable. But again, it does not mean that other people doing something wrong. That it's very important, right? So, okay. Very important not to go and tell people I do only this and only that. So I mean, if it's easier for them to adapt, also, yeah, But if they're not going to do it, so it's better not to mention to them, because you're going to create animosity. That's it, and provoke them to talk lashon hara against you. Okay. So Ashkenazi custom. So we say that he can eat Pas Palter, even if this Pas Israel is available, if it's Pas Palter is tastier or significantly less. Okay, continue. During Aseres Teshuvah, meaning this 10 days of repentance, even Ashkenazic Jew should eat only Pas Israel if it's available. So I guess it was chosen. If the Gemara says several reasons. I think that the first reason, it's because it's the easiest thing to do. I mean, compared to change your character traits and other things, just eat this other bread. It's the easiest, but it can affect your judgment. So that's the point. Kabbalistic, I think it's in the Masechet Rosh Hashanah. I think it's from the Kabbalistic sources maintain that one should avoid eating Pas Palter. Many Ashkenazic Jews follow the stricter custom. So all the Hasidim, of course, all other people who are trying to go stricter, they don't. Especially if you live in a place where it's a lot of this freely available. So why not? Okay, continue. Pas Palter is defined as a bread that was baked by a non-Jew with intention of selling. So again, even with a non-Jew, we're going by intention. It's very important what they meant to do that. So if they meant it to be for commercial purposes, not to get in close relations with us, there is no problem. So we can buy from them if all the condition is above fulfilled. Bread baked by for private use is considered Rechilus pas akum, and is forbidden, right? And on the other hand, this bread that this professional baker baked for his family, and then he called his wife, and he said no, and she said no. Kids do not want this bread this week, so okay, so he can give, and he wants to give to somebody, to one of the customers, me as a good customer. Okay, so that's the problem, right? Because it was in this case when he was baking, his intention was as a house owner. That's the issue. The profession of the non-Jew is irrelevant. Okay, no problem. So if he baked for himself, that's for his family, and then decided to sell to us, or decided to give us as a gift, so it's both of these prohibited. The definition of Pas Palter depends upon the baking of the bread. Not whether it was eventually sold or given as a gift. Okay, we explained that. Bread was baked for sale is Pas Palter. Bread baked for a private use is prohibited as Pas akum, as a bread sold by non-Jews, cooked by non-Jews. Any questions? We continue. Okay, so let's start. I'm going to finish, but at least we start section B. And it's very interesting. So first he outlay the groundwork, and now he goes back to definitions. So now we have pretty good ideas, right? And now he goes how the things work, and now he defines what are these things. Okay, so we just defined what is Pas Palter and what's Pas Israel actually. I mean, right? Not passes. What is Pas Palter basically? Okay. So B, what is considered Pas? Okay, so what is bread? Regarding the rules of Pas akum and Pas Palter, so Pas akum is a bread by a non-Jew, and Pas Palter is commercial bread. Pas is defined as any bread type food, very interesting, of one of the 5 species of grain: wheat, barley, rye, spelt, and oats. So bread, just 1 second, defined as any bread type food, right? So we will see it's not only bread, okay, made from these 5 species. Even inferior bread that is unfit to be served to guests is included in the prohibition of Pas Akum. I'm not sure what is. I mean, maybe from like a very coarse flour or something. I don't know. So not fit to feed the guest, right? Meaning what? As we said, so what is Pas Akum? Something that you would put on a king's table. Some right, respectable quality. Okay. So even this bread is not, so it's still in the category of Pas Akum. However, bread made from of other grains, such as rice bread or cornbread, into which no significant amount of flour from the 5 species has been added, is not considered bread with regard to laws of Pas Akum. Meaning other bread, this as we just said, this rice bread or what is it, or cornbread. So they're not considered to be bread halachically. This, even though like it looks like a roll, for example, rice roll, right? Right. So it's not considered to be bread. And soft pretzel is considered to be bread. Okay. So even it does not look like regular bread. Okay. So let's see. And of course, about this cornbread, we said a few times that they add. Majority, usually not majority, a significant amount is actually wheat flour, not corn flour. Of course, you taste the corn flour, but mostly it's not. So we have to be careful and actually see on the back when we eat cold cereal, right, and actually see what is the ingredients. So many times you would be surprised. So it says corn flakes. Okay, corn flakes. Right, you have to see what are the ingredients, and sometimes you would be surprised that the first ingredient is wheat. There is corn. So in this case, it's proper to check on a website, or we have in the end of the book this Halachos of Brochas, or just verify on the website of the Kashrut agency what blessing to make. Meaning they know how much flour. Wheat flour goes into the cereal and how much is corn flour. Right, so because just looking at the back panel, you would not understand. Is it 10% or 50% or 70%? I don't know. Okay. Just 1 second. Right. So we said other breads made from not 5 species, not considered to be bread, and there is no problem of Pas Akum. So the way I understand that people usually are not going to put these breads like rice bread on a king's table, right? Commentary: these breads are, by their very nature, inferior, and eating them will not lead to intimacy. Okay. These breads are exempt from the laws of Bishul Akum as well, since they are not fit to be served to nobility. See, right? So even in places where the rice flour is dominant, much more than wheat flour, so it's still like to nobility, as he said, to the king. You're not going to give this rice bread. Okay, continue. Even foods of the 5 species of grain are not considered pas unless they have at least potential halachic status of lechem, bread. Most baked goods made of one of the 5 species of grain, even if their bracha is mizoinus, can achieve the status of chamotzi, but merit of kviyas seuda, right? Eating them as a meal. We're going to explain. I mean, we mentioned today, but okay, we're going to explain again. One who eats a cake, pie, or crackers as a meal, he eats an amount that the average person would consider sufficient for dinner, must treat cake, pie, crackers as a bread. He must wash, recite Al Nitalas Yadayim, and recite Hamotzi, and Birchas Hamazon after eating the meal. Okay, after eating the meal. Since all these foods have the potential halachic status of bread, they are subject to the rules of Pas Akum or Pas Palter. even when then not eaten for the meal. So, but there is a potential again. So, where is the difference in amount? Where it not for the potential status of the bread, these baked goods would be considered bishul akum, right? Bishul akum meaning cooked by a non-Jew. No pas akum. Okay. Their status would then be stricter, since the bishul akum is prohibited even when the baked by the professional chef, right? Professional chef, a palter. Okay. For example, oatmeal cereal is cooked, not baked, okay, and would never require hamotzi, and is considered bishul akum. Thus, the question of which food are permissible, and when baked by a non-Jewish palter, depends upon whether or not they have the potential of hamotzi. Okay, sounds a little complicated, but we're going to try to explain it simply. Okay. So one more time, right? And we're going to say, even foods made of 5 species of grain are not considered pas unless they have at least potential halachic status of lechem. Meaning again, so all of the foods, all of that from five species of grain, if you bake them, meaning in a oven or on top, like on a frying pan, right? Without water, of course. I mean, even you spray a little with oil, it's not that. It's only for would not stick, right? There is no problem. So all of these things are considered to be like potentially pas, potentially bread. Meaning what? If you eat a lot of cookies, or cookies or some other pastries or something, like a lot, meaning 8 ounces. 8 ounces. Yeah. So then, in this case, you need to say like hamotzi. Go wash your hands and say hamotzi. But according to some opinions, not even that. So if the mainstay of the meal and all of this, like you eat them for satiation and then other things, they say you can compare them to how much bread you're going to eat. So usually you don't eat bread like for your meals that much. If you eat only bread, for example, that's the only thing that you have to eat is bread. Yeah, you would most likely to eat this. I don't know how many slices. Let's say 6 slices, like that. Okay, right. If you have only bread, okay. But if you have other foods, you would eat, let's say, 2 slices of bread and other foods. So same is here. So if you eat these cookies and plus other foods, and it's going to constitute your meal. So according to some opinions, you would need to say Birchas Hamazon after that, even if you did not intend. Okay. So continue. Most baked goods made of one of the 5 species of grain, even the bracha mizoines. So initially is mizoines for crackers, for cakes, of course, cakes because there's a sweetness, right, and crackers because it's a thin. Like crumbling consistency. Okay, so the different opinions, but still mizoines, right? But if they can achieve status of hamotzi, right? Okay, status of hamotzi. How? If you eat enough. So kivei seuda, as we said, this 4 eggs, meaning 8 ounces. Okay, that's kivei seuda, or second opinion, which is also must be taken in account, as I explained, even if you have other things and like with your cake and you satiate it, so it's 100% bread. One who eats a cake, pie, or crackers as a meal, eats an amount that average person would consider sufficient for a dinner. We just gave you a definition. Must treat cake, pie, or crackers as bread. We explained. He must wash hands. So if it was initial intention to eat all of this, so I mean there is a no-brainer. You go wash your hands. But if it was not planned like this, and you just continue eating, so of course you're not obligated to go wash your hands, right? And you're not obligated to say hamotzi suddenly on this cookie, right? You continue eating as you continue eating, and when you're done, you say Birchas Hamazon. But if your initial intention to eat all of this, so that's what you do. You go initially and do nitilas yadayim and hamotzi blessing. Okay. Since all of the food have a potential halachic status of bread, they are subject to the rules pas akum and or pas palter. Okay. So meaning the bread is baked by a non-Jew, or bread baked by a commercial baker. So it's, as we said, it's the same thing about cookies, right? Even when not eaten in the meal. Okay. Okay. So even if it's not a meal, but you ate a lot, so that's what it is. Okay. Were it not for the potential status of the bread, these baked goods would be considered bishul akum, right? So if there are two separate prohibitions. One is food, any food, soup, right? That cooked by a non-Jew, right? It's bishul akum, and the special category is baking is a type of the different type of cooking, right? So right. But it's in special category. So if these things were not would not have potential status to become bread, so it's going to be right, like regular cooked foods, bishulakum, right? No pasakum. Okay. Their status would be then stricter than bishulakum, right? Than bishulakum. Since the bishulakum is prohibited when they're baked by professional chef. Okay, the palter. So bishul akum is stricter than pas akum. Okay. For example, oatmeal cereal is cooked, not baked. So all of the cooked mizoines, even though we say mizoines on this, mizoines on that, they never become bread. So it doesn't matter how much spaghetti you're going to eat, or pasta or something, right? Or this what is it? Oatmeal cereal. It's also one of the 5 species. Doesn't matter how much you eat, you're never going to say Berchas Hamazon. So because it does not have these attributes of bread, so which is a crust and like same consistency, same procedure as you do, what do we do for bread? So I mean, if they mixed dough, of course, professional would tell apart, but simple people like myself would not see the difference between just looking at the dough. Is it dough for bread if it's mixing, let's say, or it's a dough for cookies or for cake? I would not see the difference. I don't know. Okay, so that's why it's very, very similar. Okay. So right, and it doesn't matter how much this cooked cereal you this oatmeal cereal you eat, or spaghetti. So you would never require hamotzi, right? But you never describe hamotzi, but now it enters different category, bishulakum. Okay, that's the question of which food are permissible when baked by a non-Jewish palter depends upon whether or not they have potential hamotzi, right? So meaning, is it bread or not bread? So that's so if it has potential to become bread, again, whether it's potential, that depends how much you eat. Okay. So then it's potentially be treated as a bread, even if you're going to eat only 2 cookies, small cookies. For sure, you don't have to wash your hands or do anything, right? You eat for small cookies, but technically, if you eat the whole pack of these cookies, you would need to say Birchas Hamazon. So then we treat these cookies initially as a potential bread, right? And laws of pas akum, meaning or pas palter. Let's say pas palter, the bread baked by a non-Jewish baker is applied. These cases. All right. So I guess we stop here. So we covered a lot of material. HaShem. Any questions on what we said?
Okay.
Yes. Go ahead, please.
The board says, I heard there are 2 opinions regarding the shiur of saying hamotzi on bread, family products. I wonder if we go with 6 or 8 ounces.
6 ounces. Okay, yeah. It is correct. So yeah. So let me explain what person is saying. So in Shulchan Aruch, it's actually said that 3 eggs or 4 eggs, right? And 1 egg is a kibbutz. So 1 kibbutz is equal to 2 kizesim. So a person 100% right. So the stricter opinion, of course, 3 eggs. 3 eggs means 6 ounces, but more lenient opinion is 8 ounces. But as we said, the opinion that I brought, it's even stricter than that. So it could be like few slices that you usually eat with your meal. For example, you have you have your omelet or something, right? And you have salad, and you have your coffee, and you have something else, and you have your bread. So I mean, you would eat two and you have tomato, right? So you eat only 2 slices of bread, and that's it, and that's all the whole meal. And of course, the satiation did not come only from bread, for sure not, but from all other food, right? From all other foods, right? So here, according to that opinion that I explained, so it's very Kosher opinion that that the same applies. So we will just substitute this 2 slices of bread with cookie, which could be, I don't know, 3 ounces, technically. You understand? So we have to, so like it's based on a situation, and like on a situation and our kavanah, what exactly we meant. Right? If you eat these cookies not for situation, but just because you like something sweet, that's not a problem. Right, you eat them like at the end. You finish your meal, you finish this omelet without bread, you finish your salad with tomato, and then you drinking coffee and you want few cookies, right? So even if you ate 3 ounces of cookies, these cookies were like a dessert, so they never became part of the meal. Okay. So the answer. It depends. So 3 eggs, I mean, 6 ounces is not even the strictest opinion. Okay, go ahead. So let's do only question on the topic, please. Go ahead.
So it says, we only eat a large muffin and eat 6 ounces as breakfast. Do we wash and bench?
Yes, 100%. Yeah. Because it's a full meal. Breakfast is a meal. So if a person ate this huge muffin and you drank coffee, whatever you drank, for sure you said it. I mean, unless that person is very big and I don't know, he would need 2 muffins or 7 muffins, but a different story. But for normal people, it's 1 muffin is enough. A piece of cheese or something, that's it. Right, that's meal. You would need you would say nitlas yadayim, right, chamotz, and that's it. Yeah. Okay. What else?
Rabbi.
You're welcome.
So one of our friends asking about making brocha on tortillas. Should
I think that tortillas, we said it's a bread. It's chamotz 100%.
Our friend says the subject of brocha over bread. How do tortillas fit into the brocha and hand washing and Pesach?
Okay, one second. Please clarify. I think we had this question. I mean, similar at least. Tortillas is from wheat flour or it's actually for corn flour?
Depending. It depends. There's 2 types of tortillas, but the most common, at least in South America, Mexico, are made out of corn flour, but you can find the ones that are out of wheat flour at the supermarkets too. So I don't know. It depends how the person consumes.
Okay, so let's go by the first example that you gave. Let's say it's a corn flour, and let's say maybe it's a wheat flour, but even it's only minority. Let's say 5%, and you don't even taste it. So it's only to keep this corn flour together. right? So that's exactly what we are doing when we do sometimes, like a few times a year. My wife does this rice bread, but she tried to to make like 70% rice flour. It's not sticking together. It's like falling apart. So whenever they bake it, it looks like a good roll. That adds some other things. It's not only flour. It's not like regular things. So let's say this tortilla is only from like mostly, not only, mostly from corn flour, a little of wheat flour. So it's not bread. So it's a shechakol on that. It's not bread. So rice cakes, rolls, it's 100% shechakol, so not bread. So bread only this from these 5 species. But another tortilla, so you have to check. Like as you said, if it's made of wheat, maybe it looks exactly the same. I don't know. Maybe yes, maybe no. I mean, they put food coloring in anything, right? So, so yeah. So you have to check the ingredients. Second part of the question, Pesach. Pesach is very, very problematic because I'm going to explain. Yeah, most likely, this company, even let's say they do the pure corn flour, but if they have additional even 1% of wheat flour, they out. That's chometz 100%. If like this, 100. But let's say we know that that they have only corn flour, right? Corn flour. I would say they would use, like in this specific recipe, they would use the same stove for other things. You understand that the same mixing bowls, the same absolutely everything. So it would be forbidden even for Sephardim. Even though Sephardim can eat kidneys, meaning all of the beans, right? Corn, beans, rice. But in this case, for sure, it's not kidneys. It's not even that. It's for sure it's going to be chometz in there, right? Because even if you want to eat this rice bread, for example, if you Sephardi, but still you have to kosher your utensils and get rid of the chometz taste. Or your stove. It does not change the rules. Yeah, you're allowed to eat this this rice rolls, but yeah, only after you kosher everything. Yeah. So and these commercial people, they of course they did not do that. Commercial companies. Okay, unless they're Jewish. Right. Okay, what else? Okay, no more questions on the subject?
No, I think there's no more questions.
Okay, no problem. Okay, so let's continue with our new topic. HaShem, Halachos of Yichud. So little by little, and we're going to advance. I mean, to have the whole class on this, we're going to go crazy. But 15 minutes, 20 minutes, I think it's manageable. So we continue with introduction, and we're on the section D, which is why the Torah forbids Yichud, Aseres protection. Okay, so let's see, the next point is D. Okay, and it says, the prohibition of Yichud applies even to very moral, ascetic person. Right, so as Talmud always tells us, sages in Talmud says, the person is not allowed to trust themselves in this matter of arise. Forbidden. Doesn't matter. You're very holy person and you work on yourself. Yeah, David HaMelech was also very holy, but everybody have their own Yetzer Hara. Okay. Okay. So it says, Halachos of Yichud apply even to the most moral ascetic person. There are 2 reasons for this. No person can or even permitted to feel confident that he or she is immune to a rule of arise temptation. You understand? So, and I think it was Rav, the greatest Rabbi, Rav Eliyahu Lapian. I think it was his Zatzal. So a person came to him and, well, he's Talmidim. He was already in his later years. I think he has a problem with one eye. He almost did not see second, all the trouble, right? And that person, this boy said, Rabbi, I want to ask you, is it okay if I go to this wedding? They're secular, but they invite me, and maybe I do kiruf, maybe this, maybe that, and Rabbi Eliyahu Lapian Zatzal said, but there's going to be modesty there, correct? He said, Rabbi, yes, you're right. Look, I've been in yeshiva from the morning to night for a few years now. I don't care about this, and these things are disgusting to me. So it's not going to affect me. And Rabbi Eliyahu Lapian said, go with me, go. And and this older man started almost running. I mean, he could not run, but ran as fast as he could to the base medrash. It said Tehillim, get me Tehillim. And they started reading quickly and said, read Tehillim. And the boy was shocked. They said, Rabbi, what's going on? He said, we read for you, Shlema, you're sick. The boy said, Rabbi, I apologize, I'm not sick, I'm fine. He said, no, if I'm almost, I don't remember, he's late 80s and early 90s, I'm half blind, and if I go to this place, it would affect me, right? So surely if you're macho to 23 or 25 years old, it's going to affect you, unless you're sick. So if you say it's not going to affect you, that means that you're sick. We have to pray for you, refuah shlema, right? So the boy got the point, right? So we try never be a hero. I mean, hero in other fields, but in this, as I would say, not allowed to trust yourself. Even you overcame this issue many times before. Okay, that's Chazak Baruch. You're going to get a great reward, but not going forward. Okay, not allowed. Okay, so again, I'm going to read again. No person can or even permitted to feel confident that he or she is immune to allures of arise temptation. Continue. The prohibition of Yichud, it's another point. The prohibition of Yichud is independent or understanding underlying reasons. For example, the seclusion is transgression, even if no arise conduct occurred. See section E below. Let's read again and we're going to explain. So now we're going much deeper. We say it's not like we don't go by the end result. Like in some cases we do go by the end result. Like we learned a few days ago in Hilchas Lashon Hara, and we say, what does it mean distance yourself from lying? And there we say that we go by the end result, right? Did it bring good result like peace or not, or brought opposite? And there we consider by end result, but here we don't consider by end result, meaning somebody got into this Aseres, right? Even nothing happened, but for the fact itself that a person secluded, he already guilty. Forget about, like, if he would Chas v'Shalom do something, it would be different punishment. Okay. So again, the prohibition of Yichud is independent on underlying reasons. For example, the seclusion is transgression, right? There is a seclusion is transgression, even if no arise conduct occurs. So the Halachah does not say that don't be secluded because you're going to and don't sin. Halachah says do not seclude yourself. Therefore, Yichud is forbidden even if all individuals in the seclusion are persons of very reputable character, known and even famous for their personal integrity and shmiras shamayim and yiras shamayim, right? So meaning God-fearing people, everybody know, and even it is in this yichud forbidden even for them, right? Because you never know, like when Satan decided to go to action. Okay, so next section, section E, and topic is yichud as independent transgression. I mean, that's what we just explained, but okay. Yichud as independent transaction. Although the Torah forbids yichud as a precaution against arayas, so we're going to see in section D, or beside the section D, the halachic prohibition itself is independent of underlying reason. Exactly as we just explained. So meaning Torah says, do not seclude yourself. That's it. Doesn't matter what the reasons are. Doesn't matter it brought to any results or not. This means that one who transgresses yichud but did not engage in any arayas conduct is nevertheless transgressor and required to do teshuvah, repentance. Okay. Meaning, again, because person put himself or she put herself in that situation. Now we're going to go in details. Number one, general talk or lack of awareness. Sadly, the fact that yichud, even without arayas conduct, is transgression is not widely known or understood. So meaning most of the people think that don't seclude because it's going to bring you to this transgression. But if you did not bring you to this transgression, maybe you're fine after the fact. No, you're not fine. Okay. Many permit themselves into yichud situation with the mistaken rationale, not even a fleeting thought of improper conduct occurred. So, right, so the problem is if a person is not aware of he or she of the halachas, so they would not be even cautious, right, cautious about it. So, as we always say, many times we give a lot of information, and I understand that it's many times it's impossible to remember all the details, but at least something should click in our minds. And at least we should be aware that it is an issue. I don't remember what we said about the outcome, but I understand that we have to say to ourselves that this was questionable situation, at least, right? So many people, they do not even know that. Okay. However, this is a serious error again, and the mere state of yichud seclusion is itself serious transgression. Continue. A. So it's under this one, A. The rules of yichud versus reasoning. The rules in double quotes. So basically, when halacha is, I mean, of course, sometimes they give reasons, right? And in case of great need, this rabbi must look at all of this reason and all of the leniencies available if needed, right? But straightforward understanding halacha, just because HaShem said so, and that's it. So that's good enough for us. Okay. So again, A. Rules of yichud versus the reasoning. One must distinguish between the structure of yichud, prohibition, and the reasoning behind it. The Torah reasoning double quotes, serves only to indicate the halachic nature as a basic guidelines of yichud. It is not, however, the sole determining factor that the halachic rules of yichud prohibition. As explained, yichud seclusion, even without any arayas conduct, is itself a full-fledged Torah transgression. Okay, so let's do this this piece one more time, and we're going to explain. One second. So it says one must distinguish between structure of yichud, structure of the yichud prohibition, and the reasoning behind it. So even though it says the reason that it might lead to impropriety, right? But it's not the only reason, right? Reason behind it. The Torah reasoning, right, serves only to indicate halachic nature of basic guidelines of yichud, meaning halachic nature that we look at this point, this issue from this point. That's it. Right, that's all it means. But the basic result, the basic halacha is the same. Okay, it is not, however, the sole determinant factor in halachic ruling, right, of the yichud prohibition, meaning that it might lead to the impropriety. Meaning what? That we're not allowed to seclude. Period. As explained in the yichud seclusion, even without arayas conduct is itself full-fledged Torah transgression. right? Meaning if they like secluded, that's enough. B, the halachic imperative to vacate the state of yichud if it occurs. Okay, very interesting. If one finds himself in a situation of yichud, even if the occurrence was unintentional, he/she is not permitted to remain in that state, but instead halachically obligated to immediately leave the premises, even if this affects one's livelihood, according to most poskim. Oh, right? This is because, as previously explained, the very state of yichud is a Torah prohibition, even if no arise at all occurs. It follows, therefore, that to remain even possibly in a state of yichud is a constant transgression, even if one is engrossed in music, Torah study, or prayer. So, meaning the person trying not to pay attention. So, I mean, while I was reading, I had this example of this real estate agent, right? So let's say she's a woman and she has one customer, and there is for sure secluded. Nobody's going to come to this apartment, let's say, right? To open the door. Why? Because let's say this real estate, let's say I'm just making up an example, has exclusive rights. So beside this lady or her boss, nobody has the key from this apartment. So like. Even though like if you leave the door open, most likely nobody's going to come in. I mean that's the only option. They must to leave the door wide open, so anybody can come in. Okay, but okay. So one more time, the topic is even if you put yourself in that situation, so you must get out of the situation as soon as possible. So it was unknowingly, but you're there. You must stop it. Okay. So one more time, if one finds himself in situation of yichud, even the occurrence was unintentional. So I mean, okay, he or she is not permitted to remain in that state. So just because somebody's situation is yichud, there is a fix to that situation, right? And if there is a solution, so we must take the solution. For example, as we said in the case of tattoo, right? It was initially it was forbidden, but after the fact, there is no requirement to remove it. That's it. It's after the fact. But here, because it's not easy to fix, but here it's easy to fix. Just get up and go, right? But instead, so they're not permitted to remain in this state, but instead, halachically obligated to immediately leave the premises, even if this affects the livelihood, meaning that it is a customer, so that they can. The guy said, "Yeah, I'm going to come with my wife to look at this apartment." I said, "Okay, no problem." Let's say this apartment, somehow it's secluded. I don't know, whatever. It's a brand new apartment. Let's say they build in a building and they have this model apartment. I'm just making up a story. So, right, so he said, "I'm coming with my wife," and he said, "Okay, my wife is not coming. She's very busy." Okay, so he's the only one with this girl, and nobody's going to. She has the only key from the building. I mean, the builders have, but she has. Let's say it's off day. Nobody's going to come. Of course, that's a problem. According to most poskim, this is because, as previously explained, the very state of yichud is a Torah prohibition, right? So according to many poskim, it's a Torah prohibition, even if no arise at all occurs, right? So again, the prohibition is to put ourselves in that situation, right? No arise, it's a different story. Okay. It follows, therefore, that to remain even possibly instead of yichud. So the person is not he's not trying to do any advances. He's mind his own business, right? In what case, is constantly transgressing. So meaning he listens to the music, he works on a computer, right? He do Torah study or prayer. Doesn't matter. So we're not allowed to be there. And we go to example, and I guess we can stop an example after example. So example. In the office after hours, the doctor of the office, in which men and women or only women are working alone, right? For example, doctor reviewing medical records with two nurses after hours, locks automatically. That is due to the programmed security system designed to lock up after hours. Either the man or the woman or both must immediately leave the premises. Okay, so I never heard about it, but it's very interesting to know. So one more time, if an office after hours, okay, so after hours nobody's in office. So the doctor of the office, in which men and women or two women are working alone, right? So two women and him, right? For example, doctor reviewing medical records with two nurses after hours. One nurse is needless to say. So in this office locks automatically. So of course you have to go, you can open manually, but automatically it locked, right? Due to the program security system. I never heard about it, but okay, does not make any difference. So it's like nobody's going to come in, guaranteed, right? So it's designated to lock up after hours. Either men or women or both women, right, must immediately leave the premise because it's 100% Yichud situation. Okay, so almost done. We do one more example and we stop. Border finds himself in Yichud. So border means that somebody just rents a room or something, right? If one of the three male boarders are rooming in the house left the premises in the middle of the night, leaving the woman of the house whose husband is out of the town and alone with the other two men, the remaining two must immediately leave the house as soon as they become aware of the absence. Okay, so it's very interesting. So one more time, if one of the three of the male boarders, so altogether were three. So border mean, the way I understand, the way I experience it, so the family allows somebody for the money, of course, stay in some rooms. Sorry. So it's a family, and they rent rooms, and these people they sleep in their rooms, but they eat like with everybody else. So basically, okay, right. So that's the definition of the border. So it's the same house. It's not different house. So okay. So before that, it was three male boarders, three, no problem. Right, and then one of them left in the middle of the night, right? Meaning in the middle of the night, meaning that nobody's going to come in, right? For sure, nobody's going to visit them. And now the two of them left. These two boys left with a woman. Her husband is out of the house, so they must leave now in the middle of the night. So three of them there is no problem, but two of them is a problem. Okay, so I guess we can stop here. Any questions on what we said about Yichud? Yes, go ahead, please.
So, Yichud says from Torah, working at our residence might lead to conditions of Yichud with an unrelated single woman. Is it better to work at a public cafe that is non-kosher just to work and not consume items prepared by non-Jews?
That's the problem. It's not proper to work in a non-kosher food establishment because it is only a matter of time when person is going to try this non-kosher food. Almost guaranteed, especially when it smells good and this and that. So they say, no, there is nothing non-kosher. What are you talking about? You think that we put pig in the cookies, right? That's what you think of us. You saw like there were no pig, and the person is going a matter of time start eating the food. So I guess we have to find some other job. Pray that HaShem send us some kosher job. Yeah. You're welcome.
This question about Yichud, love. Question about Yichud. We are on a train/subway, and the compartments of the subway are separated. One cannot walk from one to another without getting off the train. We notice we are the only male/female on the train. What should we do?
The only one, the whole car is the subway car is empty. There is no problem. There is no yichud. So yichud, it means there's somebody's the opposite gender is there, but otherwise there is no problem, unless there is some details to the question. Okay.
Yeah, friends clarifying says, sorry, I mean we are the only female and the others are male.
So okay, so it depends how many others. Right, so we say if it's 3 or more, so most likely that's more or less safe. It's not yichud. But if it's 2, it's more like as we just saw from example, it is yichud. Okay.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome. So many when a lot of people it's not considered a seclusion. Okay.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome. Okay.
So I don't see more questions about Yichud.
Okay, so we can go to any topic.
Okay. Let me go to somewhere before the class. Halachah.
Mm-hmm.
If there is a one-way tinted glass mechitza on the same level as men, and the women are praying behind the men, are the men allowed to move after the amidah/during repetition of the amidah, in case the women might still be praying?
So the question is, are we allowed to go to the women's section? Is the question or no? Okay, so maybe if you read the second half, the way I understand, there is I saw this. I think it's very very convenient. They say they have this mirror, right? Mirror glass that is like one way, so women see what's going on, right? But men do not see through it. I mean, so that's women want to see, right? Let them see. There is no problem. But men should not see. So that's I saw in a few places. That's a perfect solution. Maybe it's not good when men look at the mirror, but usually but they understand that there might be women looking from another side, so would not do. Okay. Okay. So yeah, please read again.
There's a one-way tinted glass mechitza on the same level as men, and the women are praying behind the men. I'm
not sure that this part was women praying behind the men. Usually, mechitza maybe on the back. Oh, so I mean, in my mind, the mechitza was on the side. Okay, I apologize. So mechitza is on the back. Usually, it's not the case. I mean, usually the men should not go through the women's section. Period. Right? Even they're not praying. Okay, so I'm not sure if it's a real scenario. I mean, it could be like everything possible, but usually it's to the different entrances, to women's section and men's section. But okay, so I got it. So it's in the back. Yeah, go ahead, please. Mm-hmm.
So it's in the same level as men, and the women are praying behind the men.
Mm-hmm.
Are the men allowed to move after the amidah/during the repetition of the amidah, in case the women might still be praying?
So
the mirror clearly visible from the women's side on the prohibition on passing in front of someone. Okay, this is some.
whoa. So the question is different. The question is very different. So it's very interesting question. So if I understood the question correctly. So when somebody's praying Amidah, it says that you're not allowed to pass in front of the person praying his personal space. What is personal space? 4 amos. 4 amos is 7.5, 8 feet approximately, or in meters it's like less than 2 meters. So you're not allowed because why? Because the Shekhinah is right in front of this person. Okay, so sometimes like in a synagogue that they used to pray, so like it's long rows, and everybody who wants to put to take 3 steps back, 3 steps forward, they would line in a row, like in the middle, in the aisle, not in a row, like in the middle of the aisle, and everybody pray like one behind another. And sometimes, like usually I was like the last to finish, but a few times the guy come like very serious Talmid Yeshiva, and he was praying much slower than I am. So I finished, but I looked back, so I realized like let's look back, and he did not make the 3 steps back. He was still in the middle. So I was not allowed, even though I finished my prayer, I was not allowed to go like into his personal space. Even though like when we started, it was less than 4 amos, right? Less, because I mean closer, but anyway, it doesn't matter. So I was not allowed to take these 3 steps back. I was allowed to finish the prayer, but not the steps. And when he finished, it happened a few times. So in my life, so right. So the question is, the way I understand this question. So man does not see what's going on. So man does not see women praying, not praying. So if he allowed to pass, like in front of this mirror, in front of this mechitza. So and the women are facing the east, right? The Aron Kodesh. That's the way I understand the question. So the answer is there is no problem whatsoever, because this glass, this wall is actually considered to be mechitza itself, like separation. So it's like furnace. So there is like a wall. So wall is 100% separation. So if you have somebody behind the wall walking the wall, it's nothing to you. Right? So there is no problem. If I understand the question correctly, that's a very interesting question. Okay.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome. So let the person who asked the question confirm that's what they meant, or they meant something else. I think that's it, but it could be wrong.
So next question. Mm-hmm. Yes, our friend says yes. That was
okay. Good.
Shalom. Thank you for the Shiur question. I heard in a Shiur that sometimes when a specific body part is hurting, aside from it usually being because one's not studying enough Torah, it could be because of a sin that was done with that part of the body, the Yisurim. So like stomachache from treif, sore throat from lashon hara, etc. Does Kodav know what back pain might stem from?
Okay, so we had the book. That exactly with all of the answers, right? So if you have this pain and that pain, slightly the left, slightly to the right, so you have to do this or that, or this mitzvah is just like spiritual fixing, or like or some physical remedy. But King Tzidkiyahu, our holy king, he saw that people were abusing this book. They would like, instead of going to Rabbi and do Teshuvah, they would do a quick fix, whatever like only this mitzvah. So what he did, he hid this book, and Beezrat HaShem, when Mashiach comes, we had this book back, but for now it is hidden. So, like some things are very obvious, but of course it's only speculation. As the person said, it could be a combination of things, right? But for sure, if person learns Torah, it should help from any disease, anything, whatever is it, right? And one of the things that HaShem does not want us to know the value of the mitzvahs. Why? Why is that? What is the problem? Only for a few non-related mitzvahs, as he said. Um, if you respect your parents, you're going to get a long life. If you shoot a mother bird and take the eggs, you're going to get the long life. So there is no logical connection. There is no logical justification how for these two mitzvahs you're going to get the same reward. Absolutely not. Right? And why? Because he wants us to do all of the mitzvahs. And this King Tzidkiyahu said, look, if you're going to do that, right? If you're going to allow a person to fix only some specific thing, it's not good for him. Right? That's why we do not know, and we're trying to fix everything that we can, right? And plus, but when you learn Torah, have a broader idea what is wrong, as we learn today, right? As we learn today, and it says clearly, the author says clearly, not not every person, a Jewish person, know that the prohibition of Yichud is with the Yichud itself. So a person transgresses every second when he or she remains in that situation and does not go out. You understand? So that's, but you would find out and you understand this only when you continue learning. So that's why that there's a clear connection, spiritual connection, and like knowledge, knowledge connection, right? The more you know, the more you know what to fix, right? So the spine could be many things. So spine had been base of the person. So right, like some when there's a people say the spine means some principle character traits. Okay, principal mitzvahs. Okay, what else? You're welcome.
Next question. Okay, another question about Kashrut of Pesach.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if mouthwash with ethanol is allowed to be used during Pesach, given it's technically a non-food item.
Yes, but it's technically not food item. But if it's there are chometz there, so person derives enjoyment from chometz. That's a problem. So we have to look at the list. On some websites, the Kosher website, they actually publish if this thing is a kosher the Pesach. You understand that there is a special book that published every year. I think Rabbi Blumenkratz. It's not him. He passed away. That's all. But his son took over, and he took the Rabbi Blumenkratz. That's all. So he took initial to compile this book. So he would write the whole year. He would spend the whole year in preparation of this digest or a book, right? What can or cannot be used on Pesach. So if somebody wants, I can send what is it the link to this book. So you can actually download as an application if you want. So of course it's cheaper than the hard copy book, and you can see what thing have chometz and what do not. So or there's another solution: just go to the kosher supermarket and see what they put in. If they God-fearing people, right? Most likely they consulted this book or other resources and see what they put on that in a kosher Pesach section, but mouthwash. So some mouthwashes he actually listed as they don't have any issues, but it can always change, and I'm going to explain. There is such a thing as glycerin. So glycerin is the things that make it sweet, and people like in the food industry or like they buy it as a commodity. So whatever is cheaper. So if better harvest in this part of the world, that part of the world, so you can get the glycerin from many things, and some of them is going to be chometz, and some of them not going to be chometz. And like same thing about vinegar. Some vinegar is chometz, some vinegar not chometz. So you understand? So yeah, I understand that we don't swallow this mouthwash, but sometimes people do swallow, right? And still stay in the mouth, right? And then you swallow your saliva, and you do swallow. You understand? So and some major brand, I don't remember, but our brand is for sure is Kosher, and so me and my wife we have different brands, but both of them are actually Kosher Pesach. At least it was last year. So we need to check this year. So again, because they can change the formula, they're not obligated to stay with the same formula forever. Understand? That's the thing. Okay, so must check. It's not so simple. And same with toothpaste, right? Okay.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
Next question from Galaf. I wonder how to kasher the hot plate for Pesach if it has a glass top.
That's the problem. So the problem is the glass top that you cannot put a foil on it, right? Because it's going to crack. Same problem. I have one of my chavrus. They bought a house, and the house had these people that they remove gas. We have gas like for cooking gas, but they remove all of this gas and they switch to electric. I mean, it's very unusual where I live, but people do. People can do whatever they want, right? It's very interesting, right? And they had this electric stove, right, with a glass top, and he put it black. It cracked, so it cost him a lot of money. So this like the stove was like top of the line, and plus he did not want to buy a new one, so he bought only glass. It cost a lot of money. So same with this thing. It's going to. I think it says on my end at least it says don't cover with aluminum foil. Right? That's too much. So in this case, I would say it depended how it was used. Right. So if person never put bread on top, like on the surface itself, only on something, so you can. I mean, like an aluminum container or something to warm up. So we never put anything on the blech itself. So in this case, yeah, you can wash it, right? You can wash it well, and then don't put anything, all your food, any of your food on the bottom. So do blech, like permanent blech, like separation, like this overturned container, this aluminum container, overturn and never take it out. And sometimes like it depends, like you would put two, like thinner one, like two of them to cover the whole blech, the whole the plate, and that's it. Okay, but if somebody have this metal, because I was asked this question just recently, right? Metal top, so there's no problem. So you can cover with, of course, you wash well with some chemicals, some detergents, whatever you use is good. I mean, they all clean very well, right? Of course, you let it stand for 24 hours. Don't use it after you washed it, and then no problem. Just put these aluminum containers. It's not considered it's not like you put this, what is it, aluminum foil, because they touch the hot plate on the perimeter, so it's much less impact. So I would suggest you to do that. Okay.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
Next question. Beef liver is very bloody. Is it possible to kosher beef liver?
I mean, it's not on a beef liver. Chicken liver is the same. That's definition of liver is a filter. All of the blood goes through the liver. So yeah. So it's when you buy it from the store fresh, of course it's not kosher unless unless it's prepared. So what does it mean prepared? You have to go do it on a grill, some kind of grill, right? Above the open fire, so that the blood can drip to the bottom. Otherwise, you're never going to kosher. So with meat, of course, you put salt and you rinse. Of course, we learn about it in Kitzur, right? First you rinse, then you put salt, then you rinse again. So and some even this rosy thing is going to come out. It's not considered to be blood because this salt absorbed all of the blood needed. But it's not going to work with this thing because it's too much blood. So in meat there is not so much blood. Of course, you have to cut off arteries, like the big blood vessels for sure must go, right? But in this liver, so also we bought it like at one time or two times. It was too much work. It's too much mess. But if some people love it so much, and it's not healthy. And Rambam said in Hilchos Dios that liver is not healthy. Like all of the internal organs are not healthy. Like some people eat heart. Of course, I mean the heart is the same problem. You can kosher over the open fire, be it chicken or like a cow. That does not make any difference, right? But all of the internal organs not good for a person. It affects memory, this and that. So. Are they kosher? Yes, they're kosher. If you prepare them in a kosher way, they're kosher. Recommended? No. Okay. What else?
Rabbi.
You're welcome.
Please send us the name of the book or app regarding the Pesach kosher list.
Yes. They usually all of the stores, all the Jewish stores, they're full of these books, like on a register, with piles of these books, right? Because people buy. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay.
You're welcome.
If we can work anywhere, but we are boarding in a home-style hotel with unrelated single women in the home. Is it still a condition of Yichud if we are in the public space working and all the others have left the common space, except one of the women lingers in the space where we are working if there is staff security and security cameras in all of the public spaces?
Could you please repeat the question? Let's try to understand. So somebody is working in a hotel, I guess. There are securities, they can come in any time. Let's say that's their nature, they patrol. Okay, go ahead.
So we can work anywhere, but we are boarding.
What is it? Was it? But we are what? Boarding or in a hotel?
Boarding.
Okay, boarding in a hotel. Okay, right.
In a home-style hotel, it says. With unrelated single women in the home. Is it still a condition of Yichud if we are in the public space working and all the others have left the common space except one of the women lingers in the space where we are working if there is staff security and security cameras in all the public spaces?
I think if the security, if he goes patrolling from time to time and there is cameras, you see these cameras are not maybe not going to stop. We're going to see in that book, if it's considered for halakhically for anything, right? But the possibility that somebody can come in and it's public place, it's more This case would be more lenient. Right. Okay.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
So, one of our friends asking to teach us about the video that the rabbi shared yesterday.
Oh, okay. That's very interesting question. So I did not have time to read what was said, right? But hopefully you read. So what my take was first impression, it's very inspirational, right? So the guy was paying for a long time, and then this rabbi was driving. It was like not normal for them. It was not planned, and they decided to go to visit the cemetery, right? And then it was in the middle of the day, like in the middle of like working day. People came, right? Like 3 rows behind or whatever, how many rows, meaning very close, and they asked him to be number 10, and then they left without care, right? They say, we're not going to cover the body, right? That's the story. And then he tried to do investigation about this person, because he has this people, this excavator. They have like small excavator, right? At least until the cemetery is filled, all right? So they can maneuver the excavator. But when it's like an older cemetery, they would do like I'm not sure. Maybe they have some machinery. I'm not sure. I don't know. But it would be more difficult. But in this case, he said, "Can you give me a shovel? Can I finish the job covering the body?" I said, "Yeah, absolutely. Be my guest. You do it. No problem." Right? And he was working 1.5 hours, and he covered that. Right? And then he called his Rabbi, and Rabbi said it was actually a guy who paid for your education for 40 years ago. And because of that, like his father, this person, Rabbi, was out of the job. He was not able to afford, and maybe the minute that this guy, and in his yeshiva, he actually learned that mace mitzvah. What is mace mitzvah? Like straight forward definition, mace mitzvah. When you're walking on a road, and you see the dead body, somebody was walking and had a heart attack or something, and person died, and there's nobody to bury, nobody is around. Right, so it's a mace mitzvah that it says even Kohen Gadol, who is not allowed to get impure, so he must attend to this mace mitzvah to that person. That's how important this mitzvah is. So in his yeshiva, that was being paid all of these years by this person, right? He learned long time ago, many years ago, like 40 years ago, the way I understand. He learned that if there is a family but they do refuse to bury the person, so in this case it's also considered mace mitzvah, because the body is there, the casket is there, but they don't want to cover. Is it true? It's not true, because the family said that this guy with the excavator, he's going to cover. So nobody would leave the body like that. Let's not get too dramatic. Of course, this what is it? The mashal, the nimshal, like what should we learn from here? This Rabbi Gold explained. It's very interesting. Okay, everything is very interesting. So what my take was, so I had to watch 2 times. So as you see, I was many times I read 2 times, because sometimes you need that second time to deep the better understand. So like this clip, it's under the first time. We heard this story before. Rabbi Mizrahi also said about the boy like that, and they met the girl, and the girl father was actually the sponsor of this boy for the years. But there is one parallel between that story and this story. And what is this? What is the story? That this tzedakah, so a person that gave tzedakah 100%, did it from the bottom of the heart 100%. But this tzedakah did not help them. right? So so his family was wicked. They did not want to cover the body, like meaning they were not religious at all. They did not care. You understand? So all of the family did not care. So meaning that maybe, very possible. I don't know this person. Hopefully he was a little religious, but maybe like some people they trying to give money and buy their way out, right, of Judaism. So if I'm going to sponsor, you said, Rabbi, you said it's a big mitzvah, yeah, it's very. Oh yeah, okay. So I'm going to do that. So indeed, person paid, but in his mind, he said that's enough. I'm going to send my children to the good college, to the good school, but because yeshivas, it's very far from me. I prefer to live among these goyim, right? And yeshivas too far, and I don't want to move these Jews, this and that. So I mean, even though I Jew, I sometimes eat matzah, sometimes I eat matzah only a few months later because I forgot it's Pesach. I'm such a busy scientist, such a busy this and that. So basically, that's how they live their life. And then one of these rabbis come and said, yeah, there is Mr. Grossman, right? There is opportunity for the Mr. Rosenberg. Forget about Rosenberg, right? Mr. Rosenberg, there is a great opportunity for the mitzvah. What is it? To sponsor one boy. Nobody's going to pay for him, right? So in this, unfortunately, person mind, I'm going to do this mitzvah, and I can do with my children whatever I want. Understand? And yes, he got the correct burial, but the person he cannot. So as our sages say, this tzedakah of these rich people who think that they can buy their way out with tzedakah, they bribe HaShem. They curse. This money that they give because they fall securely is going to be cursed to them. Understand? And unfortunately, many people in this generation, they say they go to these rich people, and rich people know that they do something wrong. They live a non-Jewish wife, they don't keep Shabbos, nothing. So they understand that something is wrong. But this rabbi said that, but you can do greatest mitzvah. What is it? Like to save somebody's life, like you pay for his education. So this doctor works him for like $600 a month. It's 2 patients for him, right? 2 patients, like I don't know, 2.7 patients or something, right? And then he got the $600. That's it, right? What is it? 15, half an hour, whatever, like half an hour. That's it. You understand? So he paid over the $600. But the curse is that the family is going to like be like that. Understand? So that's a problem with people who rely only on that tzedakah. Tzedakah is very good. It helps from death. Right, it's right, save somebody from death on one hand, but if you say that's the only mitzvah, that's the problem, right? As Rabbi Reuven Shlita, I heard one class, so he was saying about this Mashiachists, right? So they made the only mitzvah, the main mitzvah, Mashiach now. That's it. All others are irrelevant, which is not true. So a Jew must believe, as one of the 13th principles, that Mashiach is going to come, right? When HaShem decide. What I do. You know what I do? How I prepare to Mashiach? I don't prepare to Mashiach. I do everything. Whatever HaShem said, He gave me 613 plus 7 rabbinical. I do all of them. When? Every day. When Mashiach comes, He comes. That's it. So that's my preparation of Mashiach. Meaning to be righteous and survive the judgment of the end of the days. That's it. That's my preparation for Mashiach. Understand? But when they give, they say you can ignore everything and just give money. So and people they take it like for the truth. Unfortunately, of course they're fooled. They're fools that they believe that because if they have such a money, they can spare $600 or $700 whatever a month and sponsor somebody. So meaning that they have a good profession, good job or something. So and that's meaning what they're not exactly stupid, but they chose to be stupid in the spiritual matters, and for this they're going to be punished. If somebody drenched like a crazy person, he's not going to be punished. He was just he did not understand how to go to the bathroom. By the you have to close the door or something like Flash after himself. He was not very smart, and he was not smart in spiritual things. So there is no judgment. Understand? But if you're smart in some things and pretend to be stupid in others, that's not going to work. Like in Shema, you're not going to fool HaShem. like buy your way out with money? Are you serious? Okay, so you bought money. With money, you get, you know what? You got your funeral, the best funeral. I mean, not the best, but it's like end up the best, right? So now, that's this like the way I saw the story, the continuation. So of course he did all inspiration lines and this and that, but reality like is not like that. And one more point that caught my attention: the fact that he said that they came in the middle of the day, right? In the middle of the day, in the middle of the week. So when I was working, so I would not take, even though it was allowed to take, unfortunately, this day off if somebody close to your family. So my uncle passed, my wife's grandmother passed. Of course, I took the whole day off. There is no question about it. But in my shul, many people pass, right? Their relatives pass, and somebody's or when my friend passes, somebody close. Yeah, I took the day off. But otherwise, if you attend all of the funerals in your community, then you're unfortunately it's a big community, and it's not so simple. Let's put it this way. So, but in the middle of the workday, a weekday workday, right? So meaning these people who came, nine people, non-Jews, of course there were women. So meaning what I'm trying to say, that they're close people. So I would take this day off, like a request, if it would be my uncle. It was my uncle. Yes, I took a day off. I went to his funeral. It was my wife's grandmother, so that's no question I took. So, but for all other people, maybe I like them very much, but I was not able to take a day off, like in the middle of the week. You understand? So meaning that all of these people, I try to say, were very close family to this guy. Like strangers don't go to the funeral in the middle of the week unless they're very close. Meaning what? It was his family who went to burial. That's my reasoning, right? And they did not care. Why? Because that's the education that they gave him, and in society, many people, I mean, younger generation, they just unfortunately, these crazy people, they just live for their parents to die so they can inherit and right, enjoy the money, right? Are they going to cry for the father? Yeah, exactly 7.5 minutes, exactly. And then they are going to run and see what is it, how much money he left. That's it. So that's the family. Unfortunately, the way I understand that he left behind, family who does not care. So they went to the funeral, and the rabbi said that you have to cover the dead body, and say, oh, there is a guy, like it's your father. If it's your father and somebody close and important enough for you to take a day off, and you would not shovel usually they give 3, 4, 5 shovels, and we cover, so at least at minimum. So they say to cover the grave, the casket itself, and then they come with excavator or this professional come and they cover with the dirt, do the rest of the job, but at least do whatever, do something. Well, it looks like they did not, fortunately. So that's my take of the story. Okay, what else? Okay.
So I have this question. So I don't know. I'm not sure which of the sacrifices this was part of, but I believe it was the skin from the animal and the wastes. I believe the legs from the animal that had to be burnt outside of the altar. I believe like outside of the Mishkan. I'm not sure. I'm correct with this.
Okay, so what is the question?
So who had to do this? Did it have to be done by the Kohen himself?
No. This thing anybody can do. Any pure person can do. Right, and same as a shchita. Anybody can do shchita. The coin job starts after the shchita, after the I think this non-Kohen even can cut the animal, right? But the coin job starts receiving the blood, right, and then apply the blood to the altar, and do other things like to put an altar wherever it belongs to altar, and do whatever I need to do with other things, right? But many jobs like the slaughtering itself, it's done by a simple person, and burning outside also done with simple person. Okay.
Thank you, Rabbi. So this burning of this waste and this skin and these things had to be like amongst like some gathering of people, or it had to be like just in private, just one people person doing it?
It wasn't in a specific designated place. I think this burning, it was only for dedication, something like only in some special cases. It's very exceptional. I know on Yom Kippur they would do it, right? But it was not daily sacrifice. Let's put it this way. It was some exceptional case for sure on Yom Kippur, maybe in some other occasions. But otherwise, they're not going to burn outside. It's only so maybe I'm just maybe speculating. Maybe it's only when the blood, the formula is when the blood was brought into the Kodesh Kadeshim. So meaning the altar, that golden altar, was the blood applied there and sprayed on paroches, if I remember correctly. Okay. So it's very special offerings. You're welcome.
Next question from Halachah. It's having said that there are souls who must be reincarnated in order to fulfill a single mitzvah. If this is true, do they not earn merit of the rest of their life?
Or they do merit for the rest of the life, but they in order to complete the tikkun, so that's like it's needless to say that they have to do the mitzvahs anyway. But the main tikkun, like for this person to achieve complete what is it to reach the level of completeness, they must do only one mitzvah. So all others are good, but they are not essential for tikkun of that person. So many times a person does this mitzvah and he or she is taken out of this world. That's it. I mean, why should they suffer? All of these mitzvahs are good, but it's not as important, because basically that person did everything perfect besides this. Okay. And that's one of the explanation, as our sages say, like somebody would die as a young child, like let's say 2 years old. So I said, well, what exactly did he do? So one of the possibility, maybe he was not when he was born became the big tzaddik, but he was not nursed with a Jewish mother for whatever reason, right? So now he was nursed with by a Jewish mother, and he died. So that was his only tikkun needed in this world for to achieve his perfection. Okay. You're welcome. So let's do one more question, and maybe we do a story. So I don't want to skip the story. Go ahead. Go ahead, please.
Is fishing without a license considered gezel? Also, what is the jurisdiction of the land itself where the person fished at a questionable status split between the natives and the federal government?
Could you please do it again? Let's try to understand one more time, please. Is fishing without license gazelle? Is it the question? Okay, yeah, go ahead.
That's the first part, yeah.
So if fishing without license is gazelle, yeah, that's the rule of the country. So what is it? Rule of the country. So it says, as we said, from Rambam, that I just recently learned, Baruch HaShem, B'siyata D'Shmaya. So he said it's a edict of the king. You want to live, it's the whole land belongs to him, right? You want to live in this territory, you have to abide by the rule, right? Or when you move to this country with this, right, with this country or this area, this state, or wherever you move, and they have different laws. So when you move there, you automatically accept these laws. Okay. So if you don't agree, so you can move out. But we must abide by all of these laws. Right? If they say license, meaning license, right? So license, I think that they one time I saw this license, or I was in that store like 25 years ago or so. So they gave the pictures what we did not buy. I think we just went to a restaurant or so. So yeah, what fish you can keep up to this size, that size, so that they give you all of the information. Maybe it even changes from year to year. Maybe, I don't know. Like, I mean, possible. So from season to season. Okay. So that was the license. Okay. So yeah, if the law, we must abide. Okay, so continue, please. After that.
Also, what if the jurisdiction of the land itself where the person fished had a questionable status split between the natives and the federal government?
Mm-hmm. I mean, it does not make any difference because if the government says that they're going to enforce the law on this territory, I mean, all of this questionable status, it's not our concern. So I mean, if this inspector or whatever officer is going to stop us and give us a ticket, so I mean, they have no question in their mind whose territory is it. Okay. Okay, that's it. Okay, so let's do one story. I don't want to skip Thursday results stories, and then we continue with the questions. Okay, so we're going to read the story and explain Beezrat HaShem on the Parsha Tetzaveh, and big topic. I mean, the topic of this story is going to be son named after his father. So the book is Vayerev Na. Okay, so son named after his father. And it's commentary based on Shmos 28:9. It says the name of Bnei Israel, the challenge. Young woman had separated from her husband during the Holocaust and was left alone in hiding, pregnant, right? And with their first child. When the child was born, she named him Dan, after her husband, having no doubt that in her mind that he was killed by the Nazis. So one of the many stories that the family got separated because they were in a town when the Nazi was coming in, he was in somewhere else. That's a very common story, right? So she survived, right? Gave birth to a boy, and most likely that he was killed. Whether by the Nazis or by the Russians, or I don't know. It's also Nazis. Continue. The woman and her child survived the war. Many years passed, and until one day they received a surprise visit from none other than husband and the father, whom they had presumed dead. Can you imagine? So probably in Israel or something. So one time he came home, or maybe not in Israel, maybe in Europe, wherever they returned. So he came home, right, and he found her, and guess what? Baruch HaShem that she did not remarry. That would be a big issue, right? She did not remarry, and yeah,
He's alive. Needless to say, their reunion was marked in tears of joy that cannot be described. The father looked at the first time on the son, and he had never met, and asked, "What is your name?" I don't know how many years passed, but okay, what is your name? I'm named Dan after you, said the child. The name was given based on a mistaken presumption that he was killed. The question then arose, if the child should keep the name, or if the name should be changed now that they discovered that father is still alive. So let me explain the question. The question is there's a different traditions in naming children. So in the Sephardic world, there is no problem. They have no problem naming children after the living relatives. Right, so he has his father. He's 20 years old. His father is 43, let's say. Right, and he wants to name his first son in honor of his father. Forget about first son. Not good idea. The first son is prerogative of a wife. Like she's going to name her son after her father. Let's say, right? Her father is alive, there is no problem whatsoever for Sephardim. For Ashkenazic, absolutely not. It's the biggest curse. So we always and only name children after the deceased, meaning like in their honor. So right, that's Kabbalistic things. Okay, so meaning if you like, for example, if you have a father, and his name is David, right? So, and you always dreamed like to name your child David after the king, David HaMelech. Absolutely forbidden. Absolutely, even you meant somebody else does not make any difference. So we don't do that. You understand? So, so if it's like a relative, your uncle, and he's David, so there is no problem. You can name him David, not in honor of your uncle, but in honor of the David HaMelech. But close relatives, absolutely not. Okay, from both sides, right? Is in Ashkenazi. So that's why the question is she named son in the presumption that the father was dead, in the memory of the father. So now he's alive, so it's not a good idea. So maybe they should change the name. Solution. Rav Menashe Klein addressed this question. The following is a summary of his thoughts on the matter as recorded in response to Teshuvah's Menashe Halachos part 9, section 248. Okay. And there are a few sections, and the first one is naming after grandparents. Firstly, he notes that in the time of Rishonim, it was customary to name babies after their grandparents. So not after even after a grandparent, but if they're alive, we don't do that. But in those times, was even the grandparents were still alive. One source for this assertion is a story recorded about Ramban, whose son married the daughter of Rabbeinu Yonah, right? So that's connection, right? So son of Ramban married a daughter of Rabbeinu Yonah. Okay, the young couple was inclined to name their first son Moshe after Ramban, right? Meaning in his lifetime. Their Ramban told them that although by right the child should be named after him, right? He preferred that they name child Yonah after her father, who had recently died. So, but again, from this story, maybe it's not so clear. We're going to see. I mean, to honor the deceased. So he said, even though it's proper to, of course, Ramban was we don't compare that, but in some sense, he was greater than the Rabbeinu Yonah, right? So it says, even though it was proper to name after me, but name after your father who recently passed, Rabbeinu Yonah. Rambam cites the verse in Koheles 1:5, and says the sun rises and sun sets. So that's a very famous one, implying that Rabbeinu Yonah laws would be filled with grandson that follow his ways, meaning sun sets, so like first sun rises, sun sets, meaning the first HaShem sends us a cure, and then he sends us disease. First, before this person die or like close, so HaShem already has a replacement. So replacement was in your stomach. It was not out in the world, but it was already a replacement was there, and your father passed. Right. So sun rises, sun sets, implying that Rabbeinu Yonah laws would be filled by the grandson who follow his ways. Okay. So that was the question some time ago we had about the names. Right. If a person wants to choose names, so you have to choose name. So this name, and not only this name, but the character or person that you'd like to this child to be like emulate his or her character traits, right? So that's what they meant in this Yonah, right, name. Okay. The child grew. The child grew to fulfill the Rambam's expectation and became noteworthy scholar, right? And scholar and religious leader. Okay, it says in Teshuvah's Harashba 291. Okay, so far so good. So Ramban said no better leave it after name after that, but it's not proof yet. I mean, that's what he did, but okay. Rabbi Yehuda Assad in Yehuda Yaleh, Yoredaya 247 cites an early support for the practice from Divrei Hamim 1, right, Aleph, chapter 2, verse 50, in which Rashi states that Hur named his son Caliph. Very interesting, right? After his father Caliph, who was still alive in this time. Okay, so in that, of course, we're going much further back, that it was no problem. Okay, naming after parents. Furthermore, sources in the Talmud. So meaning that when Sephardim name after parents, like living parents or grandparents, there is no problem. I mean, they have the strong custom, as we see. Like they have people like great poskim to rely upon. Okay. Furthermore, sources in the Talmud suggest that there was no objection against naming child after his own father, even while father was still alive. For example, number 1, Maseches Eruvin 85b mentions someone named Bunyas, son of Ben Bunyas, who was given instruction to relay the message to his father, which shows us that his father was alive when he was born. Very interesting, right? So Bunyas Ben Bunyas, and then and he was of course it's an indirect story, but we'll learn from the facts. That's why HaShem gave us das meaning that you can learn one thing from another, right? So his name, we know his name, and we know that he was told to relate the message to the father. Well, what does it mean? That he was named like this while the father was alive. Number 2, Tosefta Nida, chapter 5, tells the story of Rabbi Hanina, son of Rabbi Hanina, very interesting, whose father vowed never to let him benefit from his property. So meaning what? That the father was alive. Okay. If he vowed, yeah, so he must be alive. Continue. Example number 3, Yerushalmi Yoma 6:3 states that Shimon HaTzadik foresaw his imminent death and instructed that his son Nehunyon fill his place as a Kohen Gadol. Okay, thus sparking jealousy of his other son Shimon. Right. So again, it's indirect story. Right. So he had two sons. One is Nehunyon, one is Shimon, and the father's name was Shimon HaTzadik. So meaning what? That one of the sons was named after him, right? So I mean, a story about the possible machlokes, but that's what we learned, right? That's what using your brain is. Okay, continue. Clearly, there is no halachic prohibition against naming children after the living relatives, right? As we said. Nevertheless, it has become customary among Ashkenazim not to do so. This custom is recorded in Sefer Hasidim, maybe long time ago, section 460, who writes that in some places it is customary not to name child after someone alive, but only after those who are deceased. Okay. So another thing that I just want to add, when we don't celebrate a person's birthday, right? But we celebrate person's yahrzeit, the anniversary of death. Why? When person died, you know who he was or she was. Like because the book is closed, you can see for sure, say for sure that person was righteous. But in all of this, but person can, as there is a famous story about Kohen Gadol. He was Kohen Gadol for 80 years, right? So 80 years, every year he would go to the 70 years, but crazy amount of years. Every day he would go Kodesh Kadashim, and if he person would have one improper thought, forget about saying improper thought, he would die on the spot. Meaning that this Kohen Gadol was perfect of the perfect. Right, as we know, in Second Temple, 300 of them just passed. They did not survive 1 year because they would go Yom Kippur, and that's it. They have a special chain attached to their leg, because nobody can go to Kodesh Kadashim to get him out. So they pull him by the chain. You understand? So, and this person went to the Kodesh Kadashim for 80 years, and what was then? He became, unfortunately, heretic. And then, unfortunately, so nobody have a guarantee that they're going to be righteous. But after a person passed, that's it. He cannot make any more mistakes. Right, wherever he is. You can say for sure this person is tzaddik. Until person alive, as we learn, we see how it's all coincided in the class of Yichud. Like you're not allowed to believe in yourself. You're not allowed to trust in yourself. Absolutely not. Right, so that's why. So Ashkenazim say, so maybe this person can go sour, right? Maybe, right? So we don't name after them, but after deceased, you already know that he was a good person or not a good person. Okay. Okay. The Hida, right, in Bris Olam, comments on this, that although some customs allow the naming children after living grandparents, all custom concur that should not name child after himself. So very interesting. Even though we see in the Talmud that they have, I mean, just because there is a name in the Talmud does not mean that the people were all righteous, right? So people transgressed. So maybe that person also transgressed. But he does said. So not Sephardim, not Ashkenazim do name after living father. Okay, no problem. So continue. Variation of a name. Okay, so last section, variation of a name. Rabbi Assad, in volume 2, section 106, addresses the case of a father, Yitzchak Bear, whose named his son Bear. Okay, so Yitzchak Bear and Bear, it's not the same. I mean, partially the same, but it's basically not. Although it was once accepted for the parents to name their children after themselves, as noted above, right, in this all of these examples from the Talmud, one must not go against the current custom. This meaning some time ago it was accepted, does not mean we should do in everybody's face. Okay. This follows the general rule that it is a community. If a community regards as something is forbidden, even if it's actually permitted, one must not openly contradict this practice. And we spoke about this thing many times, like at least 3 times before. So they do their thing. Don't go don't go to Ashkenazi synagogue and with your lengthy this Sephardic Kaddish. So stop it. That's the disgrace, right? And if you Ashkenazi and you need to say Kaddish in the Sephardic shul, just learn whatever you need to say. Okay, get prepared. Don't get silent and don't go with your Ashkenazic Kaddish because they're different. They're different. Okay, so that's the thing. So if you live among these people, right? If you go to another shul, to Ashkenazi go to Sephardic shul, okay, just take your siddur, no problem. You pray according to your siddur, but out loud say the way they respond to Kiddush, not the way Ashkenazi respond to Kiddush. Like, all right, that's but when you read privately, like according to your custom, no problem. So if there's this Ashkenazi community, and they would say it's not accepted, and they said no, but this is says in the Talmud. Forget about Talmud, right? Don't annoy the whole community. Understand? So even though the person does not do anything wrong, so we try not to create like separations. Okay. So at least not openly contradict custom. So if you have different custom, you can keep it home, do whatever you want. This is true of the religious prohibition, and especially true of safety issues, since it is commonly believed, rightly or wrongly, right, we don't know if it's true or not, that the danger to name one's child after oneself, this effectively forbidden. So they say, okay, that's how we know, right? So even for grandparents, so we have this exactly the same thing, like they believe that this person, you put their life in danger by naming child, so the child is pushes them out in some sense. So we don't try not to not child, but never ever do that. Okay. Therefore, Rabbi Assad ruled the child should affix a suffix to his name and call himself Bearman. For example, instead of bear. Bearman. Okay, I'm not sure if it's there. Okay, it looks like there is such a name, Bearman. Okay, doesn't matter. It is interesting that Rabbi Assad advised adding letters to the name rather than replacing it entirely. Perhaps we can explain, right? So why is that? As we discussed a little yesterday, that it was a question. So there is some mazal attached. Was it in our class? Or I think it was in our class. Maybe mistaken. I think so. At least in one of the recent classes. So somebody said, "Can we learn?" No. It was in our class. Yeah. So okay. Can the scientist this? What is this Kabbalah? How the mazal attached to the person that is born, like to the hour, to the month that born. Okay, no problem. So that's okay. That's why we should not change the name completely, right? He just added something, right? So to take out name completely is a problem. So if person never had a Hebrew name, Jude, so that's a different story. So he or she is getting it. But if he already had one, to replace it, we don't do it. Also forbidden. Okay. Perhaps we can explain based on the name changes that HaShem made for our forefathers. Very interesting. Avram had a letter Hey added to his name, and he was called Avraham. Sarai had the letter Yud in her name replaced with the Hey, and she's called Sarah, right? So meaning to add there is no problem, or replace letters. The Talmud Yerushalmi Sanhedrin 2:6 states that when the letter Yud complained, HaShem appeased it by adding Yud to the beginning of Moshe's students, Hashea. So and he became Yehashua. So yes, this Yud complaint is famous Gemara. So they say Yud said, how come what did they do wrong? So I was separated from the Holy Sarah. Like why me? What did they do? And HaShem said, no problem, you're going to be added to a greater man who needed this. Sarah was a very strong woman, right? When dealing with this, what is it? With Hagar, with other things, right? With all of this terrorists that kidnapped her several times, right? So you have to be very strong-willed woman. And Yeshua was a little like on a softer side. So HaShem took this youth, the strength from Sarah in that case, right, and added to HaShem, and he became Yeshua. Okay. Yud was thus moved from the end of Sarai's name to the beginning of Yeshua's name. Second point, right? From the end of the name to the beginning of the name. From here we see that the very letters of the Aleph base are offended when they are removed from the person's name. So, and we don't want to play with letters, meaning keep all letters there, but you can add, right? In the case of Yaakov, who was remained Israel, there was no reason for the letters to take offense, meaning because Yaakov had still two names. So in physical things, when it was like he was referred as Yaakov, and spiritual things, and as a whole family, he is referred to Israel. Okay, so he kept both names. In the contrast, Abraham and Sarah may only be called by their new names. So Yaakov we called only like Yaakov or Israel, but Abraham and Sarah only new names, and Yeshua also only Yeshua, and not by their former names Abraham and Sarai. Okay. In our story, if the young Dan's name would be replaced entirely, the letters of the name might take offense. So, and that's a danger, and put this little boy in danger. Furthermore, the Arizal taught that when parents name their children, they are granted certain degree of prophecy. So, and when usually this parents like all of the parents like to ask you just ask the question. They're going to tell you the story. Why did you pick this name, not that name? That's the whole ganze Maisa, the whole big story around why they did that, right? As the Zohar said, it's a divine prophecy, some degree, certain degree. It is us, so it's better not to get involved. So usually their parents always like insisting. They have advice. This uncle is going to get offended. This is going to offend. Okay. So, but okay. It is thus unwise to change the name entirely. Rather, the suffix should be added to the name. Rather than calling Dan, he should be called Daniel from now on. And Daniel and Dan, it's two different names. I mean, similar sounding, but two different names to different people from the Torah. Okay, so we can start here. I mean, with this story. So go ahead if you have more questions. I'm listening. Okay, go ahead.
Friends asking, I think it's Francis through Mashiach times, would Yichud apply between Amish Yisrael and
I'm sorry, Yichud is going to apply between who and who? I didn't get it.
Am Yisrael and Sarah Imenu.
Am Israel and Sarah Imenu, but why would I'm not sure what is the question. Am Israel is a nation of Israel. Sarah Imenu is our foremother, the matriarch Sarah. I mean,
Francis, have too many generations passed for her to be considered exactly like our own mothers.
Sarah is a mother. I mean, doesn't matter how many generations pass. So because we're related to them, what's the difference? just far removed, but the same family, right?
Thank you, Rabbi.
Okay, you're welcome.
I wonder if both sides of the shidduch need to agree to listen to the same rabbi before marriage. Given different rabbis may have very different approaches which affect the hashkafa and approach of the students. Could having different rabbis for a couple cause shalom by a problem?
100%. 100%. The person is 100% right. Different rabbis have different shkaf. I had a question today, it was second opinion. And somebody asked me second opinion, it's like a continuous saga, I think he said yesterday. Did I say it? I don't know. I said that person, you got the opinion of rabbi, so why are you going to me? So he's, I know who he's talking about. He's one of the main rabbis in that yeshiva that he's in. So he said that. So I mean, yeah, have to listen to him. I don't need to express my opinion. I don't want to even know like what the story is. He said is that's you ask him. He told you that you don't like it. The problem is with you. They just pick one rabbi, and that's it. So that's the problem when people go like rabbi shopping or fishing, right? Whoever is going to agree with their opinion. That's a big issue. So when in this case, when two of them have different rabbis, and it's obvious. So she's from unless there's they both our students or Rabbi Reuven's Shlita students. So that's most likely people have different rabbis, right? So it's not an uncommon situation, most likely. If you like, if she does not have a rabbi or he does not have a rabbi, and of course it's proper to have one, so it would be no problem. But if two, of course there could be machlokas for sure. He would advise like this, and his rabbi is going to advise exactly opposite. That's the problem. Okay.
Rabbi.
You're welcome.
So it says in the lab, if someone asks more than one rabbi the same question with a complete intention to go with a more stringent response, is this correct?
So I'm going to tell you what I answered this person. Actually, I did not tell the story because I answered this morning, like it was 5 a.m. my time or something. So what I told him, right? How does it look? So he said another rabbi that I never had a chance to talk to, but he's a famous personality. Looks like a kosher person. Lives in a different country. Right, that before he makes any decision, he talks to other three rabbis. So this my student of mine told me. I said, look, you have to, my friend, you said you have to double check your situation, like your information. Looks like why would a person like this rabbi ask three different rabbis to compile the name, like to compile the answer. So I'm not sure how it got into his hand, but that's what he said. That's how he submitted. I said that's absolutely wrong, because maybe that I don't want to say I don't think that rabbi is doing that. I don't think so. I think this young fellow just a little exaggerated. But in case of this young fellow, he's in his 20s. I don't know. Baruch Hashem, he's a kosher yeshiva. Baruch Hashem, everything is kosher, and he decided to ask several people. Right before that, he consulted only me, but actually me and sometimes other people. How I found out later, and then he went to yeshiva. I said, "You have Rosh Yeshiva there. Like, why you would like? It's better you ask him, right? Well, if you need to ask me, so whatever. I'm like." Do whatever you want, basically. Right, so this 21, 22 years old. I'm not sure how old is he, plus minus. Right, so he's going to compile 3 opinions. Listen to this, and based on these 3 opinions, he's going to decide what opinion is right. Like you normal, so that's arrogance, like in pure form. Like you would put like somebody. Let's say I said I don't want to be part of it. Keep me out. I'm busy enough with my life. I have many people that I have to help. Right? This little 21 years old is going to put 3 opinions in front of him, and he's going to decide based on the answer. This opinion goes to the garbage, and this opinion goes to the garbage. But this opinion I can manipulate, and it's going to match exactly what I want. The answer what I want. Understand? So, like, if you can throw somebody's rabbi's opinion to the garbage, like, why would you ask him to begin with? And if you do not agree, meaning that you know better, and if you know better, why you asking? Like, you understand? So it's very arrogant. So I told him, it was not 5. It was a little later. I was walking to Shiur, right. So on my way to Shiur. So I told him that. Right, so it's for me, it's like pure arrogance. Right? So I don't want to. So when I personally say that there is one person who used to be in this group, I just blocked them. He would send this message. He was like asking all these strangest questions possible, like in my mind, like close to on the border, very anti-Semitic questions. So I mean, okay. And he was consulted many people, and he would I don't know. People here remember, so he was asked like 7 opinions, tried to confuse me. It's like, I don't need that. Like you trying to be the most smart. Okay, be the most smart. Why do we have to suffer from this guy? Right, from you. Like, so I started replying to him. Right, hopefully somebody replied to him, and he got the answer. So why should you go to the second opinion? If you don't trust the first opinion, so don't listen. Don't ever ask him. Right? So that's arrogance, pure form. Okay. You're welcome.
So, ask one last question before.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
So, the question wants to give us something, but he expects us to go look for it to a certain extent. So, are we going to lose the chance or our chance if we delay it for too long because we're too scared? Like, I mean, is the time spent that God waits the person to act upon it like proportional to how much the person struggles to handle it?
So it's a generic question, right? It's not no specific situation. Or so if you give me maybe more details, it would be like easier for me. It's like a little more details about your question. So basically, I mean the basic idea: if a person could have acted, but he procrastinated for whatever reason. Why? I mean the reason is because he's afraid. He's not sure. Okay, so. Is it the general? Okay, but okay, give me the details because generic question I have. But okay, go ahead.
No, I mean
that's it. That's the whole story.
Something the person's been waiting for a long time. It could be anything.
Okay, so sometimes the person is not sure. Is it good for me or not? Right. So in this case, I would say just say don't do anything. And wait until, of course, you pray and wait until HaShem shows you a sign, clear sign, what to do. You understand? But if you're sure that it's the right thing to do and you're just scared, so I mean, people are scared. People are scared, and maybe it's not your time. Maybe this and that. If person is going to get punished because he's scared, if he does not do anything, any transgressions. And his opposite, like he just does not do like a positive commandment, so a person is not going to get punished for delay. Okay, it's just lost mitzvah, right, or lost opportunity. Okay, Maybe like that's a generic answer to the question. Again, if you don't know what to do, don't do anything, right? Because it's not clear to you. Okay. And in all my life, like I always follow whatever I am telling you to do. So I have experienced the same, and it worked out for me, right? So and many times I did not know what to do, right? And I said, HaShem, give me a clear sign, like clear sign. And many times next day, this day, next morning, he would send me like 6 in the morning. It's my walking time, right? Right? No. I was right. It was 5 in the morning. Forget 6. It was 5:30 in the morning. I answered this guy, right? Before that. Okay, so that's like I would listen to lecture when I go to shul. I walk to shul, so I listen to lecture when going back. So that's many times I got the answer in this hour. Right? You go, you walk, you pray, and then HaShem answers. Right? Next day. So, but don't jump to conclusion. If you don't have enough information, don't just like act rationally. That's not good. Not Russian, I mean in rush. Okay.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
So, no, I mean, if the person gets like a very clear sign, still doesn't, I don't know, act upon it, he's still gonna miss the chance because he's too afraid of it.
Maybe the person would lose a chance because like HaShem created. So if you said clear sign, so if it's clear sign and it's obvious a clear sign, it's not signs from Eitzachara, right? So Eitzachara sometimes lures a person for failure, also possible. So if we analyze the situation and see, most likely there is only me that is scared and no other like practical thing that I can point onto. So then yes, a person must act. Why? Because HaShem, maybe it's a lifetime opportunity that's not going to be there in 3 months from now, a year from now, 2 weeks from now, whatever situation is. Right? So if we see the situation, be Nadav ben Avihu, right? So he saw the situation. He did not know how it's going to end. Well, was he scared to jump into the sea? Absolutely. It's never said that he's crazy person, deranged or something. No, he's normal person, holy person, and he continues walking into the sea and praying to HaShem. HaShem, save me. Right? You wanted me to move into the sea. Right? That's you gave clear sign to me to move. But unless you help me very clearly, I'm going to die. So that's what we have to do. Of course, you have to do your calculations. So we're not allowed to rely on miracles on one hand. On the other hand, we have to believe in HaShem. That we do our shtadlus, but we remember that HaShem decide the outcome of the action. It's very important. It's not up to us, but all of the shtadlus, all our efforts, up to us, 100%. Right? But how is going to whether you're going to little effort or a lot of effort during over the period of time, it's it's up to you. But how it's going to end, maybe HaShem is going to respond in 3 minutes before you even start trying, or he's going to respond in 3 months or 6 months from now, or a year from now. Doesn't matter. But it's not up to us, so we don't have to get upset. It did not work, so you did your best and sincerely, and you prayed, and HaShem decided not yet, so he decided not yet. But if all the clear signs that now is the time, so yes, I mean it's now is the time, and HaShem is ready to help you. Right? So sometimes people are not serious. I'm told that's what I do. So like this fellow. So now he sent me a reply. I'm not going to look. I have many things to do. So he's not serious. So I'm not serious. It's not like I'm trying like a revenge or something. I have other things to do, other priorities to do. Understand? So when I was available, like before, maybe it's not a good example. When I was, let's say, like make an example, I was available before. Person asked me the question. I told him the answer, and he did not know. So next time he asked me, like, why are you wasting my time? I go like help somebody else who is going to listen. You understand? So in some sense, lechavdil. Hashem can do the same. Look, I gave you all the opportunities. I set the whole settings for you, and you ignore it. Okay, so next settings maybe going to come in 20 years from now, maybe. Right? So we have to grab opportunity, and again we do ishtabus. Remember the outcome of from Hashem. And when person is getting upset, guess what? It shows only about our arrogance. Like how come I'm so talented, I'm this, I'm that, I all the calculation, and it's it fell upon my face. Okay, so that's Hashem decided the outcome. Okay. What else?
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
That was the question. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. So thank you very much. So we'll wish Refuah Shlema to our Daniel. Please feel better. We need you. Not because you're helping, but in general. So we wish you Refuah Shlema, and thank you everybody for learning with us. It was a very successful week. We finished, we not finished. We started another book, and little by little, the few pages in time, and we're going to complete it. Beezrat HaShem. That's what I always do in my life, right? I try, like, if there's no room, and you squeeze a little, and Hashem is going to bless, right? And He's going to bless this endeavor, and we're going to finish this book, Beezrat Hashem. Understand? But you need this initial step. I want to do it, Hashem. I don't know how, I don't know when, but that's a needed subject for me personally and for everybody else. So we're going to start Beezrat Hashem. So thank you very much for joining. So I'm on Sunday or tomorrow, we'll see. I'm going to send you the new time. It looks like it's going to change every week. They're going to add 10 more minutes, I think, but right until sometime. Right? But we'll see. Right, thank you very much. Good Shabbos and good night. Until Monday. So, okay.